A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Castaways, by Ernest Kinoy. In the South Pacific, night comes on rapidly. The sun dips below the flat horizon, the sea is crimson for a moment, and then night falls. But on Tahani Atoll, giant arc lights turn night into day. Across the waters of the lagoon, within the barrier reef, launches and tugs skitter back and forth, while on the curving half-moon of the island, Army trucks and jeeps scuttle down the rough roads bulldozed by the Seabees just 6 weeks ago. A low Quonset hut stands near the beach, surrounded by tangled wire. This is the preliminary command post, and inside is General Frank Gaydosh, field director of the test. Operation Destruction.
Everything's on schedule, General. Radiological surveys complete. Instruments placement checked.
Well, get me Navy and tell them H hours is ordered. Send a periodic time check to Air Force on 90-week talk and observation control on the Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I want a complete roster check on all personnel before H hour.
Yes, sir. Oh, Nate Cohen wants to see you.
Well, who the devil's he?
AP man. He's been selected by the press radio pool to interview.
I haven't got any time. Tell him to speak to Major Dwight Friedenberg. He's the PRO.
I think perhaps you'd better see him, sir. The directive on public relations from Washington was very clear.
Well, how in blazes am I supposed to run a bomb test and play mother hen to a bunch of reporters?
Washington said...
All right. Bring him in. Borelli?
Yes, sir.
Get me some black coffee, will you?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Cohen, General Gaydosh.
How do you do, General?
Lousy, as a matter of fact.
Is that an official statement?
No. You can run some of that "the world is at the crossroads" baloney.
I wrote that yesterday. General, what effect do you think the new bomb will have on the world situation?
I can't tell you that, even if I knew. My job is to set the blasted thing off and see that nobody gets hurt, and collect the data.
Can I speak to you a moment, sir?
Later, Alan. Go ahead, Cohen.
Can you release anything on the scientific principles involved?
I don't even understand them myself. Wait a minute. Dr. Muller?
Yes?
Come over here a minute, will you? Cohen, this is Dr. Fred Muller, Civilian Scientific Director. He's the only one who knows what's inside that warhead.
How do you do, Mr. Cohen?
How about a statement, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid all I'm allowed to say is that the bomb is new, it's extremely powerful, and off the record, it's very tricky and dangerous.
What'll happen if it goes off prematurely?
I don't think we have to worry about that. In fact, we wouldn't even know about it. If you'll excuse me.
How about the natives?
Well, what about them?
Aren't they going to be evacuated from the island?
They already have been.
General Gaydosh.
Well, I saw the Tahani chief outside when I came in. The whole tribe squatting down at the motor pool having a conference.
What? Alan.
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The Tahani are still on the island.
Well, why? The LCTs are ready, aren't they?
Yes, sir, but they won't go. They refuse.
The schedule called for their evacuation to Mailani 3 hours ago.
I realize that, sir, but I hoped we could still get them off without violence.
Look, Alan, they're either on the island or off. Now, wait a minute. Cohen, that's all.
What are you going to do about the natives, General?
Never mind. I'll issue a statement later.
You going to force them?
Go on. Get out. I haven't got time.
All right, General. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right, Alan. Let's have it.
Well, sir, the Tahani have been kicking up all along. They won't leave.
They won't. Do they know what's going to happen to the island? Do they know that we're going to blow it higher than the kites?
I told the chief. He just said they won't go.
They'll go, all right, if I have to... Yeah, hey, get him in here.
The chief?
Yeah, and that lieutenant who interprets.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that, Dr. Muller? I haven't got enough trouble.
You know, I feel rather sorry for the Tahani. Can't make much sense to them. We arrive and tell them they've got to get out.
Look, I appreciate your finer feelings, Muller, but I can't let the Kanakas hold up the bomb test.
They're not Kanakas, General. Captain Cook discovered the island in 1788.
Well, what's the difference?
Lieutenant Gilbert reporting, sir.
Hey, look, I haven't got time for ceremony, Gilbert. Tell the chief he and his tribe have got to get off the island. We're providing homes for them on Mailani.
Translate,
Gilbert.
The chief says you do not understand. Mailani is a bad island. My people have lived on Tahani from the time that our ancestors were cast away on the island. The spirits of our ancestors are buried in the earth. Our fathers are buried here. Our fathers' fathers.
If he thinks I'm going to move his graveyard, he's crazy.
In our ancestors' time, the Tahani came in a great bird canoe. We were cast away on this island. We have made it our home. What right have you now to carry us over the sea to a strange land where we would die weeping for our homes? We will not go.
By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and we wept when we remembered Zion.
Well, thank you, Dr. Muller. You're a great help. Say, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Tell him I have no choice. He's got till midnight to get his tribe on board those LCTs peacefully, or I'll have the Marine Detachment carry him aboard.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that rather harsh, General? After all, justice is on their side. We're preparing to blow up their island, and we haven't asked them about it.
Dr. Muller, will you kindly confine yourself to the scientific aspects of this operation? I'll take care of administrative matters.
If you could explain to them what's at stake here.
Any further explaining I've got to do, I'll do with the Marine detachments. I'm not going to hold up my schedule. Well, Gilbert?
I told him, sir.
All right, get him out of here. I've had enough.
no,
What the devil's that?
Some kind of a curse, sir. I can catch some of it. The island will remember the tears of its children and punish the invaders. The great destroyers will not destroy. And the evil man, who is the chief, will travel far through the blackness of night. Even as the children of the island end, so will he.
All right, Gilbert, take him away.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Allen, get a detail from the Marine Detachment with tear gas and small arms down to the motor pool. And in 1 hour, have those natives on that transport, and I don't care how they do it. Is that my copy, Varelli?
Yes, sir.
They must know about the bomb. The great destroyer will not destroy.
You worried about that curse?
I should think you might be. He threatened you personally. If I were you, I'd carry a pistol till they got off the island. The chief looked as if he'd cheerfully strangle you with his bare hands.
I'm supposed to end the way they do, huh? What's that?
Probably the Tahani saying goodbye to their island. I think I'll go down to the motor pool.
Well, stay out of the way. And get back here in an hour. We've got to have this wrapped up and headquarters moved out to the Missouri by dawn.
Instrument room checking in, sir.
That's the last. Have the Missouri take over control and send for my jeep.
Yes, sir.
Are the LCTs standing by for those natives?
Yes, sir. They're on the beach.
The bomb unit is assembled in place, General.
2330, right on the nose. Robin, start evacuation procedure.
The Tahani have stopped.
Allen's probably moving them out to the beach. Check in with Navy and Air Force, Borelli.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Coming to the beach.
The Tahani making trouble. Come on.
General.
Hey, Gilbert, what is it?
Colonel Allen ordered the Marines.
Well, what happened?
The natives just got up and started marching.
Did they embark?
You don't understand, sir. They marched up the cliff and right off into the lagoon.
What?
All of them, the women and the kids, too. They didn't even try to swim.
What were you doing all this time, just standing around with your thumb in your mouth? Where was the Marine detachment?
We couldn't stop them, sir. They just walked over the cliff. They didn't even scream, not even the kids. We sent the crash boats out, but we couldn't get them, any of them.
The crazy idiots. Were there any reporters there?
Well, Cohen and a life photographer.
Well, get his film and hold it till I release it.
What are you going to do, General? Postpone H hour?
It's too late for that now. And calling H hour off isn't going to bring the natives back.
But 100 men, women, and children just walking into the water. It's horrible.
I know. I'm not happy about it either. There's nothing we can do now. I gave him a chance to get off.
I was just thinking about the curse the chief put on you. Even as the children of the island end, so will he. That's what he said to you, General.
I know, I heard him.
Your jeep's waiting, General.
The great destroyer will not destroy. That must mean the bomb.
Don't worry, Dr. Muller. It'll take more than a mumbo-jumbo curse from a native witch doctor to stop this operation. At each hour, that bomb goes off.
It is now H hour minus 1 minute 30 seconds. H minus 1:30.
Video screen's hooked in, sir.
All right, check control stations.
Observation station 1.
Observation station 1, check.
Radiation station.
Radiation control, check.
Test the firing
Observation
circuit,
station
Dr.
two.
Muller.
Right, General.
2, check.
Damage control station.
Damage control, check.
All set.
Communications.
Communications, check.
All checked in, sir.
It is H minus 1 minute. H minus 1.
Take a good look at that island on that screen, Dr. Muller. When you throw that key, it just won't be there anymore. Nothing but an atom mushroom over the lagoon.
Quite a funeral pyre for the Tahanis.
Stubborn idiots. They can't get in the way of progress.
Progress? I wonder if it is, General.
It is H minus 30 seconds. H hour minus 29, 28, 27, 26.
The great destroyer. That's what he called the bomb.
Hold it, Muller. Allen, report.
All checked in, sir. Cameras running.
Sound fire warning. Stand by for firing. Ready, Muller?
Ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
General, it didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off.
Borelli. Signal standby. Condition red.
Yes, sir.
Allen, check readings. Muller, what's wrong? What happened?
I don't know. The bomb didn't go off.
Well, what do you mean? Why didn't it?
I don't know, except for one thing. The Tahani chief said the great destroyer would not destroy. It didn't, General. The bomb didn't go off.
How about it, General? What happened? Have you got a statement?
Nothing you can use, Cohen. Not till we find out what went wrong. Hey, who let you come aboard this ship?
I walked on. You don't know why the bomb failed?
It didn't fail. It just didn't go off.
What's that tank thing on the deck, General?
Undersea salvage unit, Mark IV. They call it a bottom crawler.
Somebody going down?
Well, that bomb is down there in the lagoon somewhere. Could go off at any second. Somebody's got to go down and find it and disarm it.
That's a lovely job. Who's elected?
I am.
Wow.
And Dr. Muller. He's the only one who knows how to dismantle it.
All is ready, General.
All right. Come on, Muller.
I'm ready.
Allen, as soon as we hit shallow water, get those gates open. We'll pull the crawler out. And then you get away in a hurry. If that bomb goes while we're working on it, I don't want any casualties.
Yes, sir.
Inside, Muller.
All right. I'm in.
Now, remember, get this LST out of the lagoon in a hurry. You got that, Allen? You take your orders from Admiral Yancey.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Closing the hatch. The radar and Geiger counter warmed up, Muller.
I was just thinking of something, General. That curse, part of it came true. The bomb didn't go off.
Well?
The second part of that curse was that you would end where they ended. That was at the bottom of the lagoon.
What are you trying to do, Muller?
Nothing. I was just thinking this crawler is going to take us right down there where the Tahani died.
I'm not worried about a handful of dead natives, Muller. I'm worried about that bomb. Okay, they're opening the gate. Let's go. USU-4 to control. Depth 50 feet. Bottom sandy. Dropping off sharp. Anything on sonar, Muller?
School of fish.
You ever been down in a crawler before?
Only in the tank at New London. I think I've got a Geiger reading dead ahead. Hang on. Getting something on sonar now. Left to point.
USU-4 to control. Over. USU-4 to control. Over. A fine note. The radio's out.
Dead ahead. Looks too large to be the bomb.
Can't see much on the forward vision plate. Hey, wait a minute. That's part of the reef ahead.
That's where the Geiger reading indicated. The bomb must have settled in a hole in the reef.
We'll have to go after it in diving suits. The suits are in the locker. Let's get this over with. The less time I spend down here waiting for that bomb to blow, the better I like it.
Muller, is your helmet clamped tight? You getting me all right on your headset?
Okay.
I'm going to fill the lock. Here goes the outer door. Let's go.
This isn't like that diving tank in New London.
Look out for that coral. It can cut you to ribbons.
There's a hole of some sort there.
Wait till I get the light up. See if you can get a Geiger reading out of that hole.
Just a... There. It's down there, all right.
Careful. I'll drop down first.
See anything down there?
Muller, get down here fast.
What is it? Find something?
The bottom of this hole, it's metal, and the sides.
But it's the coral reef.
Look, welded joints. These are hull plates of some kind.
Look out, above us.
It's closing. Grab it.
Too late.
A metal hatch. It just slid over the top.
This is impossible. What's going on?
It's like an airlock.
The water's being pumped out. General, you realize what this means?
I'm not sure. There's an inner door opening. Careful.
It's a passageway. What do we do now?
There isn't much we can do. We can take off our helmets, though. The dial shows good air.
All right. Come on.
What is this? An undersea fort? What's it doing here? What does it mean?
Whatever it is, our bomb must be down here. Wait, there's someone there.
I can't see. There's a shadow. Who is it? Who's there?
Welcome, Dr. Muller. Welcome to our ship. We've been waiting for you.
General, it can't be. You see it? It's the Tahani chief.
How long has the bottom crawler been down, Borelli?
4 hours, sir. 2 since we lost contact.
Now, keep trying.
Yes, sir.
I've given him enough time. I'm going to send another crawler down.
What do you figure happened to him, Colonel?
Well, there are a lot of things. Hey, how did you get in here?
I walked in. When are you going to release this, Colonel? It's the biggest story since the election. Bomber dead and Dr. Muller and General Gaydash dead.
They're not dead. At least we don't know they are. As long as that bomb doesn't go off, there's still a chance.
What happened?
Early, condition red. Gilbert, radiation control into action. Get the hot squad into Tahani Lagoon as soon as it's cleared. And get me a PT boat with radiation screen.
What is it, Colonel? What happened?
Bomb must have blown.
How about Muller and the General?
If they were down there in that lagoon, you guess. Now get out of my way. I'm busy.
Radiation reading 75 and steady.
Take her in as close to the beach as you can.
Steady as she goes.
Is there any danger of any more explosions?
No. When she goes, she goes.
Radiation 82.
That's still safe. Cohen, is that something on the beach?
Yeah. Looks like a body. Maybe you blew one of the Tahani back out of the lagoon.
No, it's moving. Gilbert, glasses.
Yes, sir.
It's a man, all right. Head into the beach.
Who is it, Colonel?
Can't tell. He's in a diving suit. It's either Muller or General Gaydoff. Get his helmet off. Easy now.
Twist to the right.
There. It's Muller. Gilbert, help me get him out of this diving suit. We've got to get him to the medics.
No radiation burns, superficial bruises, mild shock. He'll be all right, Colonel.
Can he talk?
For a while.
Bomb go off.
It didn't.
He's still out of his head.
Quiet, Cohen. Go on, Dr. Muller. What did you find?
A ship A giant metal ship there under the lagoon.
Submarine?
No. It was a spaceship.
Spaceship?
Camouflaged right next to the reef. When we went inside, we found the Tahani chief and all the tribe. Alive.
Well, they drowned in the lagoon. I saw them.
No, they didn't commit suicide as we thought. They just dived underwater into the rocket airlock.
Rocket? Airlocks? Now, look, Muller, I know you've suffered a shock, but...
But it's true.
Can't be. A spaceship built by Polynesian savages.
But they're not savages. They're the Castaways. They're from another planet. Don't you understand? Their spaceship was wrecked here 400 years ago. They've been waiting ever since for a chance to go home.
He's out of his mind. Better give him a sedative, Doctor.
No, wait a minute, Colonel. Remember their story about the great bird canoe? Maybe there's something to the legend.
Not a legend, it's true. They'd exhausted their fuel, came down out of space, couldn't find anything here on Earth to replace their fuel source until we developed atomic power.
Atomic power? You mean they stole our bomb?
That's right. Fished it out of the lagoon, hauled it aboard.
Yes, but how could they convert it to atomic drive?
They made me dismantle it for them at the point of a gun. Then just before they blasted off, they let me go.
But what about the general?
Remember the Tahani curse?
I see. You mean they killed him?
You don't understand. I said I dismantled that bomb at the point of a gun. It was General Gaidash who was holding the gun.
What?
He was one of them, one of their spies, sent out to bring back the rocket fuel they needed. And the Tahani curse wasn't a curse at all. It said that when they left the island, so would he.
You mean he's with them now?
Yes. And after 400 years, the Castaways are going home.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
The underwater city of Euclidia is being deserted. One at a time, just as fast as they can come up through the surface airlock, the Euclideans are coming aboard the Gregory boat and going to their quarters below the decks. Mrs. Gregory has chartered this small steamer, which is large enough to safely accommodate the Euclideans, and plans to take them back to the United States, where they will be placed in a scientific colony established for them there, and allowed to continue their work under guard. In the radio cabin of the boat, Mrs. Gregory and Joan have been getting weather reports in preparation for their 4,000-mile trip back to Los Angeles.
It is well along into the afternoon, Mother.
Yes, Joan, dear. Nearly 4 o'clock. That steady parade of Euclideans has been coming up over the side and going below since daylight this morning.
They look very strange, do they not? I can realize that since I have seen your world. I should not like to go back to those drab uniforms of Euclidean cloth and to that cold, hard, scientific manner of living.
That's all over now, Joan. And our adventures will soon be over. We'll live quietly at my home in Los Angeles, and you'll go to school with Jerry.
Jerry says I know too much to go to school, but I do not agree with him. I believe I should go to school, if only to learn to behave exactly as others in your world do.
Yes, that will have value to you. And the association with other young people, boys and girls near your own age, will provide a lot of fun for you.
It will seem strange, but very nice to live your life.
Hello there.
Come in, Jerry.
And will you please close the door?
Oh, sure. But I wanted to keep an eye on those Euclideans.
I'm sorry, Jerry, but I'm a little nervous. For 7 or 8 hours now, I've heard those feet shuffling past this door. Watched those shapeless uniforms and the dull, leaden faces of the Euclideans.
Yeah, well, I guess it would get kind of sort of tiresome.
Just listen a moment, Jerry.
Golly, they do get on your nerves. The sound of their shuffling feet. I'll close the door.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. That's better.
Oh, gee, Mrs. Gregory, you're all upset about this thing.
Mother is not accustomed to being in charge of a boat with 250 prisoners on board.
Oh, sure, but the danger's all over now.
I hope you're right, Jerry. But a 4,000-mile trip with a boatload of Euclideans seems to offer plenty of opportunity for trouble.
They're not going to do anything. There's no fight left in that bunch.
I feel that is correct, Jerry. Never have I seen anyone look so hopeless.
You know, I think most of them are glad it's happened. I guess they weren't any too happy on Euclidia.
That was the idea Tex and I had when we agreed to this wild plan of trying to capture 250 people and take them home on an ordinary boat.
I heard some of the leading scientists say that they would welcome the opportunity of working under better conditions.
They're an amazing crowd of people, thinking nothing but scientific advancement, willing to be taken prisoners, to live anywhere and to work anywhere, just so they're allowed to work on their inventions and discoveries.
Yeah, and I'll bet you that we'll never have a bit of trouble with them after we put them in that place you bought.
They'll have plenty of room, at least, and the buildings and equipment are good. It was a very complete little college a few years ago.
But, Mother, why should a college be forced to close? Is there no one who wants to learn?
Well, plenty of them. But they want to learn in the big colleges with the best football teams.
Football? Do they attend the higher institutions of learning to study football?
Oh, lots of them do.
But I thought football was a form of recreation, a game.
It is, Joan, dear. But football is also the magnet which draws thousands of students to the larger schools annually.
How strange.
Well, maybe. But I like it all right.
Jerry.
Want me?
Captain.
Better run along, Jerry. Tex wants you.
Okay. Hey, looks like that's about the end of the Euclidean parade.
Oh.
That was the last of them, Skipper?
Then we might go out on deck, Mother.
Not yet, Joan. Tex asked us to stay here, and we'll stay until he tells us to come out.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Oh, thank goodness that's all over.
And now, all that we have to do is sail home.
Yes, that's all. Just a little 4,000-mile trip.
It will not prove difficult, I think.
Well, we've done our part, Joan. We've got all the weather reports the land stations can give us, and it looks like fair weather all the way home.
May I come in, Mrs. Gregory?
Of course you may, Elaine. Sit down here.
Thank you.
You must be very tired.
I am tired, but tired with the satisfaction of a task well performed.
And Euclideans are all aboard?
Why, yes. Yes, they're all aboard.
Elaine, has anything happened?
Nothing. The transfer has been without incident.
But you hesitated before you answered, Mother.
I am sorry. I did not mean to hesitate.
Something is wrong, Elaine? Tex? Jerry?
They are quite all right. I believe the captain suffered a disappointment, but he will tell you about it.
What sort of disappointment could it be?
If Tex wants us to wait for his explanation, we'll have to wait for it. It can't be anything very serious.
Mother, is that not the signal to start?
So soon? Yes. The engines are gathering speed, and the boat is beginning to move. Oh, we're underway.
I thought it would not be long. The captain gave orders to the 3 men who are to remain in the underwater city with the animals until another boat arrives to take them off.
Who stayed, Elaine?
2 members of your crew, and the engineer, Mr. McLeod.
Mr. McLeod will be with his pigs once more.
I'll bet Mac didn't like that job any too well.
He volunteered for it, and the captain thought an engineer should be in charge.
And after the cattle, birds, and chickens are taken out of the city?
Then it is to be flooded and destroyed.
It seems a waste of splendid effort to ruin that beautiful city. The Euclideans have spent more than 10 years building parts of it.
I know that, Elaine. But its existence would cause trouble. Trouble between nations as to who would claim it, and trouble among men for its scientific treasures.
I believe you are right, Mother. It will be better so.
Oh, Tex, it's really over?
Yes, Pat. It's all over. I hope.
You hope?
Elaine.
Yes, Captain?
I hate to ask you to do anything more until you get some rest, but you're the only one who can do this with any degree of certainty.
That is quite all right, Captain.
You go and join Jerry at the stern hatch. He'll explain what it is you have to do. Report to me as soon as you finish.
Surely, Captain. Whatever it is, we will let you know the result at once.
Thanks, Elaine. And I promise you can sleep after that.
Tex, what's all this mystery?
Oh, probably nothing, Pat. I'm not sure yet.
You are worried, Captain Bradford?
Well, not exactly worried, but I'm a little disturbed about something.
Well, what is it, Tex?
G-47 has disappeared.
What? G-47?
Right.
You mean he didn't come aboard?
At least I didn't see him come aboard.
Then he's hiding down in Euclidia, and we've put off without him.
But that would be dangerous.
It would, but I don't think that's what's happened.
What else could it be, Tex?
G47 doesn't tell all he knows to anyone. He might have a trick or two up his sleeve.
Where do you think he is, Captain?
On board this boat.
But you just said,
I
Tex,
said
that
I
he...
didn't see him come aboard, and I didn't. Or at least I didn't recognize him.
But what would be his object in disguising himself?
No telling, but I've got an idea he's on board.
Wouldn't one of the other chief scientists know?
Probably, but they wouldn't talk to me. I tried to get some news out of 3 of them. Thales, Cheops, and Octavo. They merely said they didn't know where he was.
Do you think it's possible he might have hidden somewhere in Euclidia?
Yes, Mother. That is quite possible.
Oh, Tex, those 3 men you left down there. They'd be helpless in G47's hands.
I thought of that. But for some reason, I'm not afraid of it. There's more to G47's disappearance than a simple hiding trick.
But what could it be?
That I don't know.
Was that the errand on which you sent Jerry and Elaine?
Yes. Elaine would be able to recognize G47 if she was looking for a disguise. And Jerry will probably say the wrong thing and make some Euclidean so angry that they'll tell him what he wants to know.
I could have helped them, Captain.
I know it, Joan, but I thought it best to keep you out of there. Some of the Euclideans may feel that you and your mother started all this trouble for them when we went searching for you long ago. I think it's just as well if you don't go down into their quarters.
I agree with you, Tex. And I think that should mean for the entire voyage.
By all means.
Very well. If you wish it.
Ahoy, the boat. McLeod to Captain Bradford. Ahoy, the boat there.
Tex, it's Mac.
Didn't take him long to get down to that Euclidean radio and figure out how to work it.
This is McLeod. Can you hear me?
Hello, Mac. This is Tex. How did you find everything?
Those men left everything in perfect condition. We'll do very nicely until you get another boat down here.
Good for you, Mac. Now remember that if anything happens, you can use that small submarine in the lower lock. I took all my solvent away from that lock. And in an emergency, get out of there with your crew and start along the course to Los Angeles.
Nothing is going to happen. We'll take care of things. And now I must get along and feed the pigs. Good luck to you all.
Good luck, Mac, and don't take any chances. Well, that's the last we'll hear from Mac in some time.
Mr. McLeod is a fine man.
He certainly is. And Mac is the only man who could go into that underground city with 2 companions and calmly set about feeding the pigs while he begins the 30-day wait.
Will it take so long to get another boat to him?
The kind of boat we'll need to take out several hundred animals and birds won't be any speedboat.
Well, here we are.
And?
Nothing.
No sign of G47?
He is not among the Euclideans.
Then where is he?
We don't know. And I don't think the Euclideans know either.
But they must know.
I believe not.
What's it all about, Elaine?
Thales seemed willing enough to talk, and I feel that he was speaking the truth. He has absolutely no idea of G47's whereabouts.
Well, this certainly puts us in a fine position.
Yeah, with that guy running loose in the world, well, it won't be long until another of these crazy colonies will be springing up someplace.
That is right, Jerry.
Tex, can't we do anything about it?
Apparently not. What else did Thales say?
Well, he claims that G47 disappeared right after we left in that rocket plane.
Well, what could he use for transportation?
I can't figure it. Those submarine locks were still magnetized when we got back.
And he could not take a boat out through that small surface lock.
Not any boat we saw there. But G47 didn't tell the rest of the scientists all his tricks. Well, I could tell from the way they acted, G47 was just about as mysterious to them as he was to us.
Well, he's gone, and there's nothing we can do about it. At least we have the rest of his colony. And G47 is only one man. It will take him a long time to build another magic island or another Euclidean.
Nevertheless, Tex, I'd feel a great deal more comfortable if he were safely locked in the hold with the rest of them.
Yeah, so would I. But we can't help it.
I believe I will go to my cabin and rest, if I may.
Go to it, Elaine. You've helped a lot, and when we get home, we'll try to repay you.
I had hoped to promise you a world without any more fear of G47, but I can't promise that now.
No, Mother. I am sure we will hear from G47 again.
Once more, the Gregory party has returned safely from the Magic Island, bringing with them the entire colony of Euclideans from the strange underwater city. Mrs. Gregory has arranged the funds with which to endow a sort of combined laboratory, college, and prison to house these scientists and allow them to continue their work under guard. Naturally, it's been a busy time for our friends. We find them now 1 week after their arrival at Los Angeles. Jerry and Joan are out seeing the town. Joan for her first real view of our world, and Jerry showing her around. In the radio room in Mrs. Gregory's home, Captain Bradford is explaining to Pat why he believes certain things.
But it doesn't make sense, Tex.
Why, sure it does, Pat. Now listen to this.
G47 disappeared, and that's the last we'll ever hear of him.
Why should that explain it?
We've broken up his colony, imprisoned all his co-workers, and soon the Magic Island will be only a memory. G47 couldn't stand that.
Oh, you're wrong, Tex. I'm sure you're just as wrong as you can be. G47 has given his life to the study of science, and he'll never quit.
That part of it may be all right, but we'll never hear of him again, and that brings up another problem.
It brings up a good many, I think.
Oh, forget it, Pat. I didn't mean it that way. I was thinking that now these scientists are without a head, they've looked to G47 to lead them in all their work. Just how much are they going to accomplish without him?
I've thought of that, Tex. And I've asked a number of scientists and educators to take over the job, but none of them seem very keen about it.
We'll have to get someone.
The only chance is Professor Hubbard.
Sure, he'd be the ideal man, but he's in Europe.
No, he arrived in town today. I saw it in the Distinguished Arrivals column.
Is he here to stay?
No, vacationing, the article said.
And you expect a man of his reputation, who's probably taken the first vacation he's had in years, to step into a job such as the running of that institution?
I'm not lacking in nerve, anyhow. I sent a note to his hotel asking him to call tonight.
Well, you know him and I don't. You'll have to handle it.
And that reminds me. If you're going to try to call McLeod, you'd better do it now. The professor may be here any time.
Good idea, Pat. Poor old Mac must think it's a funny kind of life down there in that underwater city.
It's awfully lonesome for him. With just those two sailors out of the crew, waiting for weeks for another boat to come and take them off.
Yeah, but don't forget the pigs and the chickens and cows. Mac's got plenty of company.
Well, even so, it's not a pleasant job.
Of course it isn't, Pat. I was only joking. Mac's a grand guy, or he wouldn't have volunteered to stay there. But I couldn't stand the thought of all those splendid animals being destroyed when we flood Euclidia.
And you did perfectly right, Tex. The Euclideans have developed domestic livestock to a fine point, and we'll be able to do a good deal with that collection.
In the meantime, I'd better try to get Mac. Bradford to McLeod. Bradford to McLeod. Gregory Home Station to Euclidia. Hello, Mac. Hello. Why should it take Mac so long to answer? I told him to be ready at this time every night.
Well, remember that he doesn't claim to be a radio engineer, and after all, we're 4,000 miles away from Euclidia. Don't expect him to operate that radio as well as Thales did.
No, that's the trouble. No one does anything as well as those blame Euclideans did it.
Hello, Captain Bradford. This is Angus McLeod calling Captain Bradford. Can you hear me, Captain?
You bet I can, Mac. Go right ahead with your report.
I have little to report. All is well.
He'd say that if the city was flooded.
Hasn't anything happened, Mac?
Not a single solitary thing.
No water leaking into the city from the island?
None. We found a half-dozen steel safety gates in the tunnel leading down from the island. We closed them, and there's no danger now.
Well, it's only about another 8 or 9 days, Mac, and that cattle boat will arrive there to pick you up.
Aye, Captain. I'll be ready for it. Is that all?
That's all.
Then if you'll excuse me, I'll get along to my pigs. Good night.
Night, Mac.
I wonder if Mac doesn't realize that conversation is free.
He sure treats it like an antique, but he gets his work done.
And instead of being lonesome, he's worrying about his pigs. Euclidia does funny things to people. Yes?
It's John and me, Mrs. Gregory.
Well, come in.
Jerry Hall, how many times have I told you to say it is Joan and I, not Joan and me?
Oh, okay, then. It's us.
That'll do nicely, Jerry.
What have you two been doing?
We have been enjoying ourselves.
You have.
Well, now what?
Well, we were supposed to go to a show after I took Joan through one of the big stores downtown, but we were still in the store at closing time. And what do you think we were doing?
Whatever it was, Joan looks like she enjoyed it.
It is very nice. I want Jerry to take me down there again tomorrow.
Oh, I will not.
Well, for heaven's sakes, what is it?
Well, Joan got started riding those blame escalators, and I couldn't get her off.
Is that so funny?
It wasn't funny to me after about the 200th time we rolled up and down.
You must have had quite a time, Jerry.
Yeah, I did.
I don't blame you a bit, Joan. I ride those things a lot more than I need to, just for fun.
There, you see, the captain likes to ride them.
Okay, then, okay. The next day you feel one of those up and down tours coming on. Let the captain take it.
Well, I wish I could have seen you. Oh, Joan, I'm so happy to have you back home and riding escalators in a store rather than elevators on Euclidia.
Yeah, sure a lot safer here.
Oh, gee. Golly whisk.
What is it, Jerry?
We forgot.
Oh, Jerry, so we did.
Something important?
Well, I don't know. But there's a funny-looking old man down in the living room.
A man in the living room, Jerry?
Yes, Mother. Mm-hmm. Jerry and I met him at the gate, and he said that you had asked him to call.
Professor Hubbard.
Sounds like it.
We mustn't keep him waiting. Come, Tex.
How about Jerry and Joan?
Oh, don't worry about us. We'll find something to do.
I wish we might ride those escalators again.
Oh. No, I think you two should come along. The professor is a very interesting man, probably the outstanding scientist in the world today, and a man of whom I'm going to ask a very great favor.
Oh, sure. We'll be glad to go if you want us.
Well, then let's hurry and all go.
Should we not lock the door of this radio room?
Oh, Joan, dear, we're in Los Angeles now, not on Euclidia.
We had to be careful once, though, when Hollywood was full of Euclideans.
These are very beautiful stairs, Mother. But would it not be nice if they were...
Joan, if you ask your mother to put a moving stairway in here, I'll think of something to do to you.
Now, you two be quiet. You're going to meet an important man, and Mrs. Gregory is going to ask him
Quiet. Good evening, Professor Hubbard.
Mrs. Gregory.
Oh, I'm sorry you've been kept waiting, but the young people forgot to tell us you were here.
That is the usual penalty for age, is it not? To be forgotten by the young.
So good of you to come, Professor. This is Captain Bradford. Tex, Dr. Hubbard.
Heard a lot about you, Professor. This is a real pleasure.
That pleasure is mutual, Captain. I have long wanted to meet so able a scientist who was level-headed enough to think of other things occasionally.
May I present my daughter, Joan? We've just had Joan with us a short time.
You need not tell me of that, Mrs. Gregory. The story of your daughter's discovery on that unique island in the South Seas is common property. You are an interesting young lady, lovely as your mother. And to be interesting and lovely is an accomplishment.
And this is Jerry Hall.
You were one of the searching party, were you not, Jerry?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm not interesting or lovely, but I got as much fun out of it as the rest of them did.
Yes, you would. Well, Mrs. Gregory, it's a genuine pleasure to see you again, and I should like nothing better than to spend an evening talking about the days when my name was little known, and you generously financed an expedition for me. But the urgency in your note leads me to believe that this is more than a social call.
It is. And if you'll all make yourselves comfortable, I'd like to outline a plan I have, and then ask my favor of you.
Anything within my power?
You can't imagine the sort of favors I've learned to ask in the last few months. To begin at the beginning, we found this strange island with Joan safely living there. But these men, Euclideans they called themselves, were not too friendly. And knowing the captain had a formula they would give much to have, they made us prisoners, in the hope of securing the formula as ransom. Well, we managed to escape, however, and after several attempts, used the same formula to capture their underwater city.
I am aware of all that. Now, you have brought these Euclideans, as they choose to call themselves, back here under guard. Placed them in an endowed institution where they may continue their almost fanatic pursuit of science. But you are making sure their discoveries are to be used only for good in the world. Is that correct?
Perfectly.
You seem well informed on this whole thing.
I am well informed. You may be surprised when you learn just how well informed I am. I know that your reason for inviting me to call here this evening was for the purpose of asking me to take charge of your scientific, shall we say, college.
How did you guess that?
It was hardly a guess. Your colony is without a head now. Those men need a leader, and you neglected the little matter of bringing their leader with you.
Tex, do you realize what the professor has just said?
Yes, but what's more important, I'm beginning to get an idea why he said it, and how he knew all about this.
I am pleased with you, Captain Bradford. You think very rapidly. And unless I am much mistaken, the young people are wondering if certain characteristics of voice and manner are not familiar to them.
Jerry, do you?
Yeah, I do.
But you've been active in Europe all these years.
In my spare time, I have managed to be seen in scientific circles in Europe, that is true. But I spent little time there.
You are G47?
Yes. I am G47, head of Euclidia, and greatest scientist in the world.
Jerry, think of that.
My head won't work anymore. You think.
Well, Professor, you place us in a strange position. You realize, of course, that your identity as a professor is established. That it would be utterly impossible for us to prove that you were ever G47.
That is true.
This is all a little too much for me.
Well, look, why not let the professor, or G47, or whatever he wants to call himself, take charge of your college?
I think that is an excellent idea, Mother.
You hit it, Jerry. Regardless of the identity of this gentleman, he is the only man in the world who can get from that group of scientists the treasures they are capable of making.
I am glad you are so sensible. I will accept the position as head of this novel institution, and will conduct its affairs to the best of my ability. One thing I must have understood. No one was ever harmed on Euclidia. And in the future, any of my people who desire to return to your society must be allowed to do so. As for myself, I had rather be a Euclidean than a free citizen of any country. Tomorrow morning, if you care to visit your scientific colony, you will find me working with the rest. And I will never leave without your permission. Good night. Good night. Good night.
He's gone, vanished as silently down that hall as he used to do on Euclidia.
You'll take the job and run your place to perfection.
That gave me a strange sensation.
Me too. There's something mighty powerful about that man.
Indeed there is, Jerry. There's something big about any man who will go into a prison of his own free will to be near the thing he loves, and G47 loves science.
The magic island of Euclidia is rapidly becoming just a memory to most of the world, as other news has taken the front pages of the papers and the headlines in the radio news broadcasts. But to Jerry Hall and Joan Gregory, and to Mrs. Patricia Gregory and Captain Tex Bradford, the magic island will always be a very real part of their lives, and they'll never forget their experiences there. Today, however, we find our four friends in very happy circumstances in Los Angeles, California. Jerry and Joan have taken Elaine Raleigh, the young Euclidean girl submarine commander, with them, and gone to the university, where they all took entrance examinations a week ago. Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford are in the living room of the Gregory home, waiting for the young people to arrive.
Well, Tex, this is just about the end of our adventure.
Looks like it, Pat. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, fun. And danger, too. I wouldn't mind doing it all over again, after we get the youngsters safely in school.
What I can't figure out is how they expect to go to school together.
It's going to present a problem. But they seem to think they could work it out, and I left it entirely up to them.
Well, those three can work it out if anyone can. But it's a strange mixture. Elaine is 22 and Joan is 15. Neither of them have ever been inside a school. And Jerry has almost another year of high school to complete.
That is a weird trio for college freshmen, all right. But we'll see how they make out. One nice thing about all three of them. Whatever happens, they'll get along with the result.
They'll do. Some of the Euclideans didn't like the idea of Elaine going free and taking up her life in our world.
Well, they haven't any complaint. Elaine was an outcast. She didn't agree with all of their views, and she did help us. I wouldn't worry about the Euclidean opinion.
I'm wondering just how long we can keep that scientific college prison of yours under our thumbs.
I think that G47 will hold them in line as long as we can supply all the materials they want for their experiments and treat them kindly.
I hope they're right, but I have a feeling that one of these days we're going to hear more from them.
Tex, the light.
Radio room signal?
I think so. It was just a slight flash.
That would be McLeod. He isn't getting out any too well with that set on Euclidia.
Yes, there it is again.
Come on, Pat. We'd better go to the radio room.
And let's hurry. Something may have happened to Mac.
Nothing very serious, or he wouldn't be using the radio.
He should be on his way by now. That cattle boat has been down there for 2 days.
2 days isn't a long time, Pat, when you figure that they're trying to take several hundred head of domestic animals and birds out through that airlock and load them into a boat.
Oh, I suppose not. But I thought they'd be on their way home by now.
We'll know in a minute.
Yes, the signal's working.
Not getting anything, though. Too weak. You'll have to use the relay and step it up a little. Will you please throw in the generator switch?
Oh, certainly.
Loading operation. Boat riding well. McLeod to Captain Bradford. McLeod calling the Gregory home station. Can you hear me? Hello, Bradford. Hello.
Okay, Mac, we're getting you fine. Go ahead.
Hello, Captain. I was just about to quit trying to reach you. The boat is loaded, and we're ready to sail. Have you got any special orders?
Not a thing. Did you take every one of the animals and birds out?
There's not even a mouse left alive in this deaf place.
Good work, Mac. Shove off for home when you're ready.
Are you sure this place will flood from one little airlock?
It will if you make sure all the doors connecting that lock with the underwater city are fastened open.
Taking no small chance on that. Me and the laddies have taken a welding outfit and welded every door in the place open.
Mac would do a good job, wouldn't he?
I'll say he would. Well, that's fine, Mac. And if you see anything of value in the way of scientific instruments and tools that are in portable cases and easy to handle, bring them along.
That's all taken care of, Captain. We've got everything on board that wasn't nailed down. Best of all, we found a cabinet full of the plans, drawings, and blueprints of everything in the place.
Great stuff, Mac. You've done your job well. Flood the place and leave, and good luck on the trip home.
Aye, Captain. We'll have nothing but good luck leaving this place behind. So long, laddie. We'll be seeing you soon.
Well, that's all over.
And Mac has done a splendid job of it.
He certainly has.
But what will we have for him to do when he gets home?
Nothing, I guess.
Now, Tex, you know that Mac and the old skipper won't be content to sit around and do nothing for very long.
And I suppose, to keep them happy, we'll have to dig up another wild expedition to some unheard-of place.
Probably, but not right away. Oh, I'd like to enjoy the peace and quiet of my home for a little while.
Well, I don't blame you. We've certainly been on the go for the last year.
That must be Jerry and Joan and Elaine at the door.
Thought you gave them a key.
I did, but Joan likes to ring those chimes.
I'll say she does. Funny if they'd fascinate her like that, after all the wonderful things she saw on the Magic Island.
Well, perhaps it's the novelty of finding a set of chimes like that in an ordinary home.
Well, they're inside now.
Yes, sounds like it.
What was it you said about the peace and quiet of your home?
Are you here?
Yes, Joan, dear, in the radio room.
May we come in?
Come on in, kids.
Let's go back into the living room, Tex.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd rather stay here for a half an hour or so.
Why, Tex?
Well, just to be sure Mac gets off all right.
Oh.
If we don't hear from him in half an hour, we'll know that he's on board the boat and underway for home.
That's right.
Oh, Mother, we have had the most fun.
Well, Joan, dear, you...
Gee, Mrs. Gregory, guess what? Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello, Jerry. Joan?
Well, I haven't the least idea, Jerry.
No, we're all in college.
You are not in college, Jerry.
Well, I'm pretty near.
I suppose you two calm down and tell us one at a time.
All I've got to do is
Oh,
study
children,
chemistry.
please, one at a time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Suppose you started, Joan.
Very well, I will do so. Elaine, Jerry, and I went to the university to learn the results of our examinations for entrance. And I will be accepted at once.
Oh, that's splendid, Joan.
How about you, son?
Well, I'm practically accepted. Only I have to finish high school yet. And, I've got to take a special 3-month course. Then I go in with Joan as a freshman.
Oh, that's fine, Jerry. You must have had very high marks in your high school subject.
We did. The gentleman who spoke to us at the university said that Jerry was an exceptionally bright young man.
There you are, Jerry.
Well, didn't I always say I was pretty good?
You say that far too much.
It might be just as well to let someone else say it, Jerry. But you do seem to have justified your opinion of yourself.
What did they think about you, Joan?
They found it most unusual.
Boy, they sure did. We had a hard time making them believe that Joan had never been inside of a school of any kind and was only 15 years old when she passed every test they could think of to give her for the college entrance.
You can't blame them for being skeptical.
Hey, wait a minute here. Where's the rest of your party?
Good heavens, I didn't even notice. Where is Elaine?
Oh, she's still trying to get into college.
Elaine couldn't pass the examination.
On the contrary, the professors could find no examinations to give her.
I'll say they couldn't. She answered their questions faster than they could write them down.
Oh, that must have been very funny.
I'll bet it was at that. Elaine examining the professors.
That did indeed take place.
Really, Joan?
Yeah, those professors are swell guys.
Why, Jerry, a professor is not a guy.
These professors were regular guys, and when they found out that they couldn't ask Elaine anything she didn't know, they asked her to question them. And when we left, she was having plenty of fun with them.
I'd have given anything to see that. But what is she going to do about it?
They agreed to allow her to attend certain of the classes, which she wanted to do, in order to familiarize herself with our manner of education and our social customs.
Good idea. And it will be a good atmosphere for Elaine.
Yes. She'll soon get entirely away from those Euclidean mannerisms and be much more comfortable in our world.
Well, we didn't want to leave her out there alone, but, well, the science prof said he'd bring her home safe and sound.
I think we have need for no fear for Elaine's safety.
Guess not, unless the college kidnapped her.
They sure liked her.
And now, our 3 young adventurers will have to be quiet students.
Yep, looks like it.
Jerry may be a student, but he will never be quiet.
I guess you're right there, Joan.
Say, how's Mac getting along down at the island?
Oh, we just talked to him. He's nearly ready to shove off.
And he will destroy Euclidia before he leaves?
Yes, Joan. We decided that was best. Mac will turn the ocean into that place and flood it thoroughly. It seems too bad to destroy all the work G-47 and his men put in there. We were afraid that those underwater caves would offer too much of a chance to criminals if they weren't flooded.
Well, they could pump them out and use them again.
Not very easy, Jerry. It would be almost impossible to locate enough machinery down there for that job without being caught at it. They'd need a fleet of big boats around there for months, and it would cost millions.
I think we're safe enough from that. Well, what can we do with ourselves now?
Jerry and I have planned to spend much of our time studying for his examination.
You're going to study for his examination?
Yeah, she's going to help me. And then we're going to spend an hour every day in G-47's laboratory at the new scientific colony.
I'm not so sure about that. What do you think, Tex?
I don't see how there could be any harm in it.
There is no danger. Do not forget that G47 has gone there of his own free will.
Oh, sure, it's all right.
I suppose so. Only I'll never get over a feeling of fear and uncertainty where those Euclideans are concerned.
We visited G47 on our way home.
Today?
Yes. He has invited us to spend an hour a day with him. And he has promised to show us his finest experiments before he gives them to anyone else.
That's all right, isn't it, Tex?
As far as I can see, though you two will have to be mighty careful not to give any of the secrets away. After all, we want to be able to turn anything of value over to the government.
Oh, sure, we know all about that. But G47 is going to give us the formulas for some of the things that we can sell and make money on. And we promised him that we'd put all the money in the bank for the Euclideans.
You did exactly right, Jerry. Tex has planned to sell the formula for the soundproof paint to the moving picture and radio studios, and the television instruments also. And all of this money is to be used to support the new Euclidean colony, under our jurisdiction, of course.
I was very doubtful of your experiment at first, Mother, as the Euclideans were so independent. But since they have understood that they may do as they please in their new home, I believe they will remain happy and contented.
I think so. And we've done a good job.
We certainly have, Tex.
Yeah, it's been a long time since that first night when I came here and asked you to take me with you when you went to look for Joan and the Magic Island.
It's really not so long, Jerry. Only a few months. But so much has happened to us that it seems longer than that.
Jerry, I think it is time to tell them of your surprise.
Well, can you leave this radio room now?
Well, I guess we could, but we'd have to stay in the living room where we can watch the radio signals.
Oh, couldn't you get Johnson or somebody to stay here for a while?
Well, of course we could, Jerry, if there was any reason for us to leave the house.
I would like it, Mother, very much.
What is all this?
Well, Joan and I are going to be on the radio tonight.
You are?
Yes, Mother. We have been asked to tell something about our experiences on the Magic Island and down in Euclidia.
Well, that's good, but you don't need us along. Pat and I'll stay here and listen to your broadcast.
Well, we thought maybe you'd better come along so we didn't say the wrong thing.
We won't worry about that.
Of course not. You two go along whenever you get ready, and we'll hear from you here. And when you get home, we might have a party ready for you.
Oh, Mother, you two have a surprise?
Yes, dear. Tex and I are giving a little party for you and Jerry tonight.
You've earned it, both of you.
Oh, Jerry, that will be nice, will it not?
Will it? Golly, whisk.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
There's the old saying that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, it isn't really power that corrupts, but immunity to punishment and control. And every fool with a little power wants to achieve that immunity. Usually it's held that like attracts like. The two individuals with the same great fundamental characteristic will be normally attracted to each other. You know, this isn't necessarily so. It may not be true. You may have two people who don't like each other, but are forced by the very nature of the fact that they have a unique characteristic to endure each other.
Oh, just a little more. Oh, Alan, isn't it beautiful the way it bubbles and bubbles? Oh, Alan, let's have champagne every night on our honeymoon.
You want to take a bath in it? I can arrange that, too.
Oh, Alan, really? Pink champagne?
Just as pink as you're blushing right now.
Oh, Alan.
What's the matter? Do you think Mr. and Mrs. Alan Carvel are going to live like the rest of the slobs? I tell you, baby...
Alan.
Oh, what's wrong, Alan?
Nothing.
Alan.
You look so funny all of a sudden.
Get off my back. Thank heaven I've found you. Why haven't you been answering me these last few days? Do I have to check in with you everything I do, every place I go?
Alan?
No, it's all right. I'm all right, Jeannie. Just leave me alone for a minute,
Get out of my mind, Laurie. Get out, I tell you. I'll talk to you later. You'll talk to me now. What are you doing with this child? What are you trying to hide from me? All right. I'll get rid of her, then I can talk to you. Give me 20 or 30 minutes to take her home. I'll give you half an hour, that's all. And don't try to close up your mind and hide from me again. All right, I say.
Jeannie, it's all right.
You went so white there all of a sudden. Alan, honey, are you sick?
No, it's just one of those migraine headaches of mine. Honey, look, I better take you home.
Oh, honey.
No, it's all right. I just need some sleep, that's all. Come on, let's get your coat.
Oh, you better not come in. That's old landlady.
Oh, that's okay. Good night, baby. Good night now.
And get lots of sleep. And take care of your poor head. Call me in the morning.
That's the deal. Good night, honey.
Good night, Alan.
What makes you do things like that, Alan?
You stuck with me every inch of the way, didn't you?
How old is she? 16?
17. What's it to you?
Oh, I have to be conscience for both of us.
Thank you, sweet Lorraine. Who asked you to?
You did, Alan. You always have. All these things you do are challenges to me to set right. All your venom against a fate that made you one of the only 2 telepaths in the world is twisted against me, your only partner in this lonely land. You strike out at me because I'm like you. And because by the same chance that made us, I'm the stronger one.
That's a lie. I can break loose from you any time. Let me go. I can't breathe.
I won't hurt you, Alan. I could never hurt you. Though I thank whoever or whatever's responsible for making us as we are, that it's me, not you, who has the additional power to reach out and move physical objects with my mind.
You would. You waste something like that and then feel good about it. What I could do with something like that. Why don't you leave me alone?
Because I love you, Alan. If you'd been a man with decent instincts, bound as we are together, we could have married and found what little happiness is possible for 2 like us in this world. But there's a twisted streak in you that wouldn't let you settle for that.
Go ahead, play the little mother. You're no good for anything else.
You didn't think so once, Alan.
You're over the hill, baby. Face it.
I've faced it, Alan. Have you?
What do you mean?
Can't you see you're getting worse? When we were just children together, before we'd even seen each other face to face, we used to talk to each other at night, clear across the city, mind to mind, about how someday we'd go out and find others like us. But if you had the chance to find someone like us now, you wouldn't take it. You don't want others. You want to be the only one.
Why not?
Why not? You've got a gun in your pocket right now. Don't you see the danger in all that? Don't you know what it can do to you?
Don't try to scare me, Lorraine.
I'm not trying to scare you, Alan. A telepath living in a world of non-telepaths is not a normal person. He can't be. He has to walk a chalk line all the time to preserve his sanity. He can't afford inner conflicts or emotional violences or shocks. What do you plan to do with that girl? What's the gun for? And what's that you're trying to hide right now, right under the surface of your mind there?
All right. You want to know? I'll tell you. I'm getting out. I'm getting away from this city and away from you, and that girl goes with me. I'm going to take what I want, anything I want, and live like I deserve to, and you can't stop me.
Alan! Alan, answer me! Don't shut yourself off from me like that! Alan! Alan!
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This is Bill Goodwin. You know, someone once said humor is the true democracy. And that's why we Americans can smile when we tell the stories of the legendary heroes who helped to build our country's great institutions and industries. Like Bowleg Bill, hero of the tuna fishing industry. Back in Provincetown, Massachusetts, they claimed that when it came to hauling in the horse mackerel, as the Easterners call tuna, Bill could handle 2 gaffs at once and catch more than any 6 men put together. And they're still talking about the time Bill caught old Slick Britches, the biggest horse mackerel of them all. No one could ever get his hooks into Slick Britches, who weighed 2,000 pounds and had a tail 6 feet long. But Bowleg Bill promised to land him single-handed. He set out in his boat's toss-up, and when he spotted Slick Britches, he made a grab for him, but the tuna slipped through his hands. So Bill dove over the side, and before folks knew what had happened, Bill was sitting astride old Slick Britches, who was bucking like a bronco. He leaped almost a mile out of the water, but Bill hung on. All over the harbor they went, jumping and leaping, but still Bill hung on. Finally, Slick Britches gave one last leap over the toss-up and then calmed down all the fight gone out of him. Bill steered him toward shore, but all of a sudden he headed him back out to sea, slapped the tuna's tail, and jumped off. Now, folks were mighty disappointed when Slick Britches disappeared, but it was like Bill told them. There's nothing that'll break a cowhand's heart so quick as to find a critter with the rough all rode off at the first mount. Yes, sir, it is a democracy which lets us tell the stories of such a legendary character as Bowleg Bill with a twinkle in our eyes and a chuckle in our throats. And so long as we continue to laugh together as a people, ladies and gentlemen, we will live together as a nation.
Telepathy has long seemed like a wonderful thing to have, a wonderful possession. But have you ever considered it in terms of the absolute end of privacy? You know, explorers have found that if you put two men in one little cabin isolated far away from the rest of the world, they don't learn to like each other. They learn to hate each other.
Now, Sue? Did I wake you, honey? I thought you was going to watch the Late Show on Channel 2. Well, it's just a little past midnight. Oh, I'm sorry I woke you, honey. I just felt like phoning. No, it's quiet as a church. Been through the plant and the tool shop 4 times already. I was just going to check the officers and... Oh, now, come on. Now, stop worrying. Nobody knows about these night payroll deliveries. Anyway, they've come and gone. The money's already in the safe. Sure I will. What?
That's a gun you feel in your back. You say goodbye and hang up fast. And don't turn around.
No. It's all right. I just remembered I forgot to ring in, and I'll better hurry and do that right now. I'll call you back later. Goodbye.
All right, let's head for that safe over there. Now move.
Don't worry. I have a healthy respect for guns. There it is over there. I don't know what good's going to do. I ain't got the combination.
Shut up. I'll stand over there where I can watch you.
Hey, you opened it right up. Who told you the combination?
The president of the company.
Are you kidding? What is this, a gag of some kind? Look, if this is just a joke, mister... No, I didn't make...
Think about jumping me, will you?
Slob.
Slob, that's all he was, a slob.
Oh, Alan, please tell me what this is all about. You go home with a migraine headache, and then you call up and get me out in the middle of the night. And you keep drinking, but you won't tell me what's the matter.
What's the matter? That's a funny one. Come here. Come close. I'm going to tell you something.
Alan, you're hurting my arm.
Listen to me. You want to know something? You know how trees think? They think real long and slow and peaceful, and sometimes they take all winter just to think one little thought.
Trees? Thinking?
Oh, it isn't real thinking. It's just living, you know? You hear them living, calm and quiet and slow. And cats. Listen to me, lady. You know how cats think?
No.
Well, cats think sort of S-shaped, like a snake crawling. And dogs, dogs are all excited. Up and down, like a pogo stick. Even when they're dreaming. Everything thinks. Do you know that, Jimmy? Everything. All day long. Forever. Never. Everything goes on thinking. As long as they live, and when they're dying.
Alan, are you cold? Let me hold you. Oh, you're shivering like crazy.
Give me a drink.
Sweetheart, you've had enough.
I want a drink, I said. Here, give me yours. You're not touching it anyway.
Alan, I really think you shouldn't be...
Look, I got a better idea. Tell you what, let's get out of here, huh? Let's get out of this town tonight, and we'll go far away where she can never find us. We'll take my car and we'll head south. Right now. We can buy what we need as we go. We'll get married on the way. What do you say, Jeannie?
Well, Alan, I...
You love me. Don't you love me, baby? You said you'd always do anything I ever wanted. Well, this is what I want. Get out tonight. And don't worry about money. I got lots of it.
You have?
Sure.
Where did you get a lot of money all of a sudden?
I'll tell you when we're on the road, okay? Oh, answer me. Or I'll leave you behind here.
Alan, you wouldn't go off and leave me.
Oh, of course not, honey. But I've got to go. There's no two choices about it, and I got to go now. Now, you're coming with me, aren't you?
Well,
one of the worst things about a conscience is that the darn thing is always going with you wherever you are. Alan had something other than a conscience, and running away didn't do much good. You know, telepathy has no distance limitations.
Alan.
What?
It's starting to get light. Alan, you never did tell me where you got the money.
Not now. Can't you see I'm out of my feet?
So we could stop and get a couple of hotel rooms somewhere.
No, we've got to keep driving.
But we're nearly 100 miles out of town already. You keep saying we've got to keep driving, but I don't see why we couldn't stop for just a few hours.
Oh, shut up, will you?
Alan.
You don't like it? Get out and take a bus back. Who needs you?
I don't know what's wrong with you. You never used to be like this. Then last night...
Well, just shut up!
Alan.
What?
Nothing.
Alan. I'm not turning back. Yes, you are, Alan. This time you're turning back, even if I have to make you. Make me, then.
Alan, you're slowing down.
She's making me. She's making me. Talk out loud.
You look in pretty bad shape.
Give me a cigarette.
There's some on the desk. I'm glad you came right back here when I turned you around. Shows there's some hope.
Now cut it out. What did you stop me for?
That watchman. It was you, Alan, wasn't it?
What watchman?
Alan.
All right. Yes, it was me. He was a slob, so he's dead. So what?
The gun you beat him to death with is in your pocket right this minute.
So what?
So I'm going to have to make you go to the police and show them the gun and tell them.
You can't do that by remote control. You have to go with me.
I'll go with you.
And what will you tell them about how you happen to know all this? How about that?
I will tell them.
What about us? About me and you? About you?
I don't want to...
Are you crazy? You know what that would mean? You think they believe you? And if they did, what would it be for the rest of your life? You'd be owned, Laurie. Owned, guarded and locked away by them. The slobs, like a piece of machinery, made to do what they wanted you to do for them. You'd never be free again.
All I ever wanted was what any woman wants, the chance to lead a normal life. Look at me, Alan. I'm not bad looking. I never was. But the only man I could ever have been a normal wife to was you. And you never grew up. You've been a selfish little boy all your life, and I've paid for it.
Why didn't you leave me alone? Just leave me alone.
Leave you alone? Do you think you ever really wanted me to leave you alone? I was forced to love you the same way the only woman in the world would be forced to love the only man in the world. Well, now it's too late. I can't let you kill again.
Then do it. Go ahead, handcuff me with that mind of yours. Take me to the cops. Make them believe you. Do you think that'll stop me? Do you think there's any jail that can hold me, any guards that can keep me? Go ahead. You're the only force in this world that can chain me, and you can't watch me 24 hours a day. You've got to sleep sometimes, and... Laurie, you're choking.
You would break loose, wouldn't you, Alan? You would kill again, in spite of all I could do to stop you. All right, you can breathe now. No, don't look at me like that. I'm not going to kill you. Even now, I can't do that. That gun of yours is in your inside pocket. Lift your right hand, Alan. Put it inside your coat. Now, take out the gun. Don't try to fight my will, Alan. You know it's no use. Now, you will point it at me.
No, Laurie, not you. Anyone but you. Not you, Laurie, not you.
Alan, it's me, Jeannie. Darling, can't you hear me?
Jeannie.
Sweetheart, just try to move your finger. Or your eyes. Just move your eyes a little so I'll know you'll hear me.
Jeannie, I can't move. I can't do anything. Help me. It's like being buried alive. I'm paralyzed. Help me. Laurie. Laurie, come back and help me. Laurie. Laurie.
So Alan had his wish fulfilled. Alan wanted immunity from consequences of his actions. There's only one way to achieve it, and he achieved it. If you do nothing, if you have no actions whatever, then you have immunity from consequences. And that's the only way. Otherwise, you're responsible for what you do, whether you like it or not.
Join us for a fascinating adventure in Exploring Tomorrow. Heard in our cast tonight were Mandel Kramer and Bryna Rayburn. Script was by Gordon Dixon. Produced and directed by Sanford Marshall here in New York. Bill Maher speaking.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Look, it's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton who has come to Earth possessed of physical powers far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can bend steel in his bare hands, race a speeding bullet to its target, and who wages a never-ending battle against crime and oppression, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Much has happened since a package containing $5 million worth of stolen jewels was hurled through a window of the train on which Kent and Jimmy Olsen were riding. The two people who were after the jewels, a mysterious young woman and the Yellow Mask, deadly international criminal, have joined forces in the masked headquarters an abandoned skyscraper known as the Parkway Tower. Listen.
So this is where you hang out. I must say, if I were trying to keep something undercover, I wouldn't operate from a 30-story office building, even if it is deserted.
On the contrary, my dear, I could have chosen no better spot. The police would never think of looking for me here.
Oh, maybe you're right, but I don't like it. Let's get our business over with.
What's your hurry? You're perfectly safe.
I know, but I still don't like it. Where's my cut? You said I could have it in cash.
Of course. But we don't want to break off our pleasant relationship so abruptly, do we? As a matter of fact, I don't even know your name.
What difference does that make? All I want is my cut, and I'll go.
But I don't want you to go. You're a very clever girl, and I can use clever people to good advantage. I can show you how to make millions. And not only that, but I can give you power. Power beyond belief.
Sometimes you talk like you're crazy. Come on, pony up.
You don't believe me? Well, I'll show you. You see that safe in the corner?
Yes, I see it.
Watch while I open it. Now, look inside.
Oh.
Precious gems. Diamonds and rubies and emeralds. Enough to pay a king's ransom. Now you can see that the jewels you helped me recover from that reporter Kent were as nothing against this treasure.
Where did you get them all?
Oh, they came to me like flies to a honey pot.
I don't understand.
A few moments ago, you wondered why I maintained headquarters in this abandoned skyscraper.
What's that got to do with the jewels?
A great deal. One of the main reasons this 30-story building was abandoned soon after it was built was the fact that a large plot of land directly in front of it is a quagmire of quicksand. You know what quicksand is, don't you?
Yes, it's wet sand that you sink into and can't get out of.
Precisely.
Even a child knows that.
But this quicksand is very deep, and anything that falls into it vanishes forever.
What are you driving at?
Have patience, my dear. As you know, the Eastern Airport is less than a mile from this building. I learned through reliable sources that a fabulous fortune in precious gems was being flown to the National Jewelry Exposition from all parts of the country.
I knew that, too.
Yes, but you did nothing about it. I, on the other hand, decided to gain possession of those gems.
How?
Very simply. You know, of course, that when fog and rain blanket the sky, modern transport planes fly blind. That is to say, they follow a radio beam into an airport.
Yes, go on.
Well, I simply created a false radio beam for the planes carrying the jewels. One with 10 times the power of the true beam coming from the airport control tower. A radio beam that led each of the transports down into the deadly quicksand.
You don't mean that.
Every word of it. Thus far, 5 planes have vanished like a puff of smoke, never to be seen again.
But the jewels, how'd you recover them?
Before the planes sank. My men have been trained to work fast.
How many men have you here?
At present, only 2. A radio operator and a night watchman. My work is practically over. With the fortune represented by the jewels in that safe, I can gain what only money can buy: power. Power over all living men. And, my dear, I should like you to share that power with me.
You say there are only 2 men in the building besides yourself?
Yes, a watchman in the lobby and a radio operator in the tower. We're practically alone.
That's all I wanted to know. Put your hands up.
But what's the mess? What do you mean by this? Why are you pointing a gun at me?
Yes. And don't be misled by the size of the gun. It's little, but powerful.
I warn you, you're making a big mistake.
Oh, no, this is one mistake you made, my murderous friend, and one mistake you'll live to regret. Turn around.
Now, don't be a fool, young woman.
I said turn around. That's better. I must say it was very considerate of you having your suitcase here all ready for me. I'll just relieve you of your precious jewels and bid you a not-so-fond farewell.
You pay for this.
Don't move. I have a very nervous finger on this trigger. That does it. The suitcase is a trifle heavy, but I think I can manage it.
Why, you little double-crossing...
You're the last person in the world to talk, Mr. Nash. A killer who sends innocent people to cold-blooded death. A half-mad murderer who stops at nothing. Just being in the same room with you sickens me. Well, now, goodbye and good riddance.
You think you're clever, don't you? Well, you're not. You'll never get out of here alive. My watchman has orders to shoot anyone who leaves the building without my permission.
Well, thanks for telling me. I'll wait just long enough for you to give him the order or let me out.
Never.
Step over to that phone and make it fast.
No, I won't.
How does the muzzle of a gun feel in your back, huh?
All right. You win.
Don't say the wrong thing or you're a dead man.
Hello? Harmon.
Yeah, Chief.
Harmon, a young woman is coming down.
Yeah?
Tell him to let me out.
Let her out, Harmon.
Okay, Chief.
Hang up. And now, just to make sure you don't change that order before I reach the lobby, I'll just pull this telephone wire out.
For the last time, I warn you, young woman, you're courting death. The yellow mask. Never forget.
Perfect. I want you to remember every moment of this. Remember how a woman outwitted you. I suppose I should pull a bullet through your head. I don't even want your tainted blood on my hands. See, there's a key in the door. Locking you in will give me enough time to get away. So long.
Oh, stop it.
Clutching the suitcase containing a fabulous fortune in stolen gems, the mysterious girl races down the steps of the abandoned skyscraper, leaving the yellow mask helpless behind a locked door. But even as she nears the lobby, Kent and young Jimmy Olsen start across the weed-grown field that separates the Parkway Tower from the main road. A light, misty rain is falling. Listen.
What makes you think we'll find anything in that deserted building, Mr. Kent?
I don't know, Jimmy. Call it a hunch if you want to.
Must be more than a hunch.
Well, maybe it is. I was thinking while we were in the control tower at the airport. Practically eyewitnesses to the strange disappearance of that transport plane. All the ships that have vanished were headed in the general direction of the Parkway Tower. Suddenly, they were never heard from again.
Right, Mr. Kent.
And if you remember, Jimmy, that mysterious girl on the train, the one we followed into the subway.
She disappeared, too.
Uh-huh.
The subway stopped in the tunnel and the lights went out. One second she was sitting there, and the next second she was gone.
Exactly. What you don't know is that she disappeared while a subway train stopped near a station that has never been used. The Parkway Tower station, directly underneath the skyscraper.
No kidding.
Uh-huh. That's why I think it's well worth our time to see what we can find in the Parkway Tower.
Well, certainly doesn't look like much from here.
No.
Not a light in the place.
Well, don't move.
What is it?
Thought I heard voices. Crouch down.
Cracking something wet.
Quiet. Someone's coming out of the building.
I can't see through the fog.
I can. It's a woman carrying a suitcase. She's coming this way.
I see her now. Gee, Mr. Kent, do you think
I not only think, Jimmy, I know. It's the girl we met on the train. The one who relieved the yellow mask of those stolen jewels. We're in luck. Now keep low until she's close by.
Okay. This is exciting.
Quiet. Here she comes. Get ready. Good evening. I think we've met before. You remember?
You must be mistaken. Oh, no, he isn't. You're the one who hit the yellow mask in the head and took the jewels.
Don't know what you're talking about. Let me by. You know what we're talking about. What are those stolen jewels?
I tell you, you're mistaken. I'm an airline hostess, and I must report to the flying field. I'm late now. Oh, here, I'll show you my identification card. I have it right here in my handbag. Don't move.
Oh, that's your identification, eh? A gun?
Yes, and I know how to use it, in case you're wondering.
I don't doubt it.
All right. Now, I don't want to have to hurt you with a kid, so stay right where you are. If you try to follow me, you'll get it. Understand?
I think you've made it clear.
And don't forget it.
She's getting away, Mr. Kent. All the time with that gun.
Don't worry, Jimmy. She won't get away. And you stay here. Don't budge from this spot. I'll follow her.
She'll shoot you.
No, she won't. Now, promise me you won't budge from this spot no matter what happens.
I promise.
Good boy. I'll be back in a few minutes with the girl.
Okay. I'll be there.
Suppose I could have snatched that revolver from her hand, but I was afraid a shot might go wild and hit Jimmy. She can shoot all she wants to.
That's Superman. I'll just fly over her head and drop down in front of her. Up.
Who's there?
Give me that gun.
Stand up. One more step and I'll shoot you. What?
Your gun might just as well be loaded with putty. Give it to me.
No, I won't.
Then I'll take it. Running away won't help you. Come back. I said come back. God, what happened to her? Where are you? Where are you? Standing. She's disappeared. Vanished into thin air. Vanished.
A sudden piercing scream in the fog-bound darkness, and then silence. What happened to the mysterious girl and the fortune and jewels she was carrying in the suitcase? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrilling story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look! It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from another world whose physical powers are far beyond those of mortal men, and who wages a never-ending battle against crime and oppression, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. Puzzled by the uncanny disappearance of 5 huge transport planes, all of which were carrying collections of precious gems to the National Jewelry Exposition, Kent and young Jimmy Olsen, copy boy on the paper, found their way to a 30-story abandoned skyscraper, the Parkway Tower, located on a weed-grown field a mile from the airport. As they neared the entrance, a young woman whom they had met before in connection with the stolen jewels came out carrying a suitcase. Kent stopped her, but she drew a gun, warned them not to move, and vanished into the fog-bound night. Leaving Jimmy behind, Kent followed her and snatched her gun away. Frightened, she turned and ran. Suddenly, a scream knifed out of the darkness, and the girl disappeared before Superman's amazed eyes. Listen.
She's gone. Vanished. Not a sign of her out here. What's that? Great Scott, there she is. Caught in a huge quicksand hole. Dragging her down. Don't struggle. I'll get you out. Thinking fast. No wonder. Such terrific. Hope I can get out myself. Another few feet. There. I've got her. She's fainted. Gotta work my way back to solid earth. Won't be easy. I need all my strength. Getting there. Slowly. Now. Made it. But not by much. What?
Mr. Kent, where are you?
I can't let Jimmy see me as Superman. Not at a time like this. He might put two and two together. I'll change back to Kent. Right here, Jimmy. Be careful.
You heard a scream, Mr. Kent, and...
See that big hole in the ground? It's full of quicksand. She stumbled into it and almost sank before I could get her off.
Is she hurt? Oh.
Stand back a little, Jimmy. Give her air.
Oh, I see. Quicksand.
You're safe now. Go out of it.
Fell into it.
Yes, I know you fell into it. I heard you scream.
She saved my life. After I pulled a gun on her.
No, forget it.
You should have let me take it instead. I'm no good. It's no good.
Now, come on. Pull yourself together. You can be of great help to us.
I'll do anything you say, anything.
Well, then tell us. Where's the yellow mask?
In that building, the Parkway Tower. That's his headquarters. I locked him in a room on the 10th floor. The only other people in the building are a watchman and a radio operator.
Radio operator?
Well, that's how we made those transport planes disappear. By sending out false radio beams.
Where are the planes?
Buried in that quicksand. They followed the beam, and that's where it led.
You mean the planes, the people in them were buried alive in that quicksand?
Yes, that's what he told me. But before the plane sank, his men took the jewels off them.
Are you telling me the truth?
I swear it's the truth. Well, look in that suitcase. You'll find all the jewels. When the mask showed them to me, I pulled a gun on him and took them.
Where is the suitcase?
I dropped it when I ran away from you.
See if you can find it in the grass, Jimmy.
Okay.
You feel all right now, miss?
Yes, it's okay. Right here. It's awful heavy, though.
Good boy. Set it down here. We'll open it.
All right.
What? There are all the jewels. I took everything he had in his safe. They're worth millions.
What we gotta do is get the yellow mask.
Well, it's not that simple, Jimmy. All we have is Miss...
My name's Lorimer. Kitty Lorimer.
All we have is Miss Lorimer's word against the yellow masks. And I don't think it's enough to hold up in court. This time we've got to be right and put the mask behind bars for life.
Yeah, but how? Slippery as an eel.
Well, even eels can be lured into traps. You still want to help us, Miss Lorimer?
I told you I would.
All right. Now, the first thing to do is to get back to the city with these jewels. Then we'll figure out a trap for the yellow mask. A trap strong enough to hold him. Here, I'll take the suitcase, Jimmy. You help Miss Lorimer.
Okay, Mr. Kent. Where are we headed?
Back to the airport. That's where we parked our car. Just follow me.
Good evening, radio fans. This is Bill Breen with some hot news for you. Dickie Lorimer, alleged queen of $1 billion jewel ring, still refuses to tell police where she hid a fortune in precious gems stolen from the National Exposition. The young woman now being held in city prison says she won't talk.
Police Commissioner's office.
Commissioner, this is Evans, National News Service. What about that Lorimer girl? Are we getting the true story?
Of course you are.
Well, it sounds fishy to me.
Well, that's just too bad. Goodbye. Kent, we can't keep this up much longer. The papers and news services are beginning to smell a rat.
All I ask is another 24 hours, Commissioner. If the yellow mask doesn't bite by then, I'll step out.
All right, but I don't like it. What do you think the papers would say if they knew we had the jewels and weren't returning them to their rightful owners?
Something's going to break tonight, Commissioner. I've got a feeling it will.
Now, I hope so, Kent. Because I'm in a spot now. This yellow mask you keep talking about. What if he doesn't exist?
Oh, I can assure you he does. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to wager that this very moment he's plotting to get his hands on those missing jewels. And that's just what we're waiting.
You sent for me, Chief?
Yes. Close the door. I've got a job for you, Lefty. A dangerous job.
You know me, Chief. Nothing too tough if there's dough in it.
$500, Lefty.
Why, Chief, for 5 C's, I'd steal a battleship with half the Navy on it.
I don't want any battleships. But listen closely. There's a girl being held in the city prison.
Yeah, I heard about her over the radio. Copped a load of ice, didn't she?
She walked out of here carrying $15 million worth of precious gems.
That ain't hay. Where'd she get the haul?
Never mind that. I want that girl brought to me.
You mean I got to fling her out of the jug?
Exactly. And for performing that little service, you will be paid $500 on delivery.
Well, I don't know, Chief. Bringing a dame out of that hoosgow ain't no pipe.
I thought you said no job was too tough for you as long as there was money in it.
Yeah, I know, but maybe I'll have to grease the skids. Maybe I'll have to pay off a couple guys. How about making it $1,000?
$1,000?
Well, that ain't too much. Not for this kind of job.
You guarantee to get her out tonight?
Sure. Where do I take her? You want me to bring her here?
No. I've got a little place about 20 miles from the city. I'll tell you how to get there. But first, there's another little matter that you and your friends will have to attend to.
Yeah, what is it?
You may be followed. In case you are, I have a plan for getting rid of whoever follows you.
Okay, but first let me call a couple of guys and get them set.
Go ahead. There's the phone.
These guys know their stuff.
Getting pretty late, Kent, and nothing's happened yet.
Don't worry, Commissioner. It'll break soon.
You know, Kent, I still don't get the point behind all this. For instance, why is that girl reporter sitting in a cell in the city prison instead of Chickie Lorimer?
Because I can trust Lois Lane, and I'm not certain I can trust the Lorimer girl. Lois is one of the best reporters on the Daily Planet, and she's not afraid of anything.
But you said the Yellow Mask knows the Lorimer girl.
Well, that won't matter. You see, this is how I figure it to happen. The Mask must have read in the papers or heard over the radio that the police are holding Chickie Lorimer, but she won't tell where the jewels are hidden. And actually, he figures if his men can bring him the girl, he can force her to reveal the hiding place.
Well, what if they do break her out? I mean Miss Lane.
I'll follow them in my car, just to see that nothing happens. Lois has full instructions. She knows what to do.
I better send a police detail along with you, Kent.
Now, that won't be necessary, Commissioner. I'm taking young Jimmy Olsen. He's been on this case from the beginning and wants to see it through. He's waiting outside in the car.
Excuse me. Commissioner's office. Yes, Cassidy. What? You sure? All right. Handle it just as I ordered. You were right, Kent. A man has just applied at the prison for permission to talk to Chickie Lorimer. Says he's her brother. Come on. We can watch what happens from the front window. Prison's across the street. Here, sit down.
Oh, thanks. Does the warden know what he used to do?
Yes. No resistance. Let them take the girl.
Good. Oh, that must be their car in front of the prison. Big black sedan. Motor's running.
Kent, look. They've got her. They're coming through the gate.
That means I've got to get going. See you later, Commissioner.
Okay, Joe. Pull up on the other side of the bridge. I don't know if we're being tailed or not, but I ain't taking no chances. I'll be right back, Joe. I've got some business with the guy that runs this bridge. Okay, Pop. Open the bridge.
What do you mean?
I said open the bridge and don't stall.
But you can't...
Open it before I let you have it. That's the ticket, Pop.
That's against the law, so
no kidding. Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing now?
The signal lights. They got to be changed from green to red.
No, they don't. I want them to stay green. All right, turn around. Yeah, this rope will fix you up good. All right, get down on your belly.
Hey, you can't do this now.
Get down. Couple of turns around your ankles and you're all set. So long, Pop.
Come back. Come back here.
All right, get going, Joe.
Have you catch up with him, Mr. Kent?
In a mile or so. They've car, but we're stepping right along.
What's that green light up ahead?
Oh, it's a signal light on a drawbridge. When the light's green, that means the bridge is closed. I'd better get over it before some boat comes along the river and the bridge opens. Here we go, Jimmy.
Yes, there they go at better than a mile a minute, hurtling through the darkness over a drawbridge that shows a green light, but is wide open with only the deep, swirling river below. What will happen? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the thrilling story with Superman. And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Like a large silvery bullet, the rocket cruiser Polaris hurtles toward Earth, heading for a landing on the Academy spaceport after a long training cruise. Inside the ship, the crew prepares for touchdown with the ease of long practice. At the controls sit Tom Corbett and his astrogator, Roger Manning, while Astro stands by below on the power deck. And as the ship falls through the successive layers of atmosphere, gaining momentum, Tom and Roger stare through the viewport at the round ball of Earth rushing up to meet them.
What's our altitude, Roger? 100,000 feet, Tom. Keep tipping the altitude. 90,000 feet. We better start braking. Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Ready, guy.
Okay, Astro. Stand by to blast braking rocket.
Right, Tom. Ready whenever you are.
What did you say?
I'm all set, Tom.
Oh, okay. Couldn't hear you for a second. 70,000 feet. Hit them now, Astro. Braking rockets 1/4. Astro, acknowledge. Something's wrong down there, Roger. Something will be wrong up here, too, if we don't start braking. Down to 50,000. Take over the controls. I'm going down to the power deck. Blast, Junior, blast, or we're going to splash ourselves all over Space Academy. Astro, what's the... Great jumping Jupiter. Hello, control deck. Check in, Roger.
What are you waiting for, Junior? We're down to 25,000 feet.
Listen, Astro's out cold.
What?
Stand by your controls. I'm taking over down here. Hey, Astro, snap out of it. Come on.
Hey, cut it out, Tom. What are you trying to do?
Come on, wake up, Astro. Wake up.
Huh? Hey, where are we? Did we land okay? What happened?
That's what I'd like to know, sleeping beauty.
I must have blacked out. The last thing I remember, we were getting ready to land.
You sure picked a fine time to take a nap, Astro. You almost made it a permanent one for all of us.
I got dizzy. The whole ship seemed to be turning around, and well, that's all I remember.
Come on, Astro. Roger and I are taking you over to sick bay.
No, I feel fine now.
But, Astro, you'd better get a checkup.
There's nothing wrong with me, I tell you. In fact, I'm hungry. Come on, let's check in and go to chow.
Well, all right, Astro, if you say so, but I still think...
Stop thinking about it, or I'll show you how healthy I am.
All right. Come on, let's go.
Well, good morning, Cadet.
Good morning, ma'am. Polaris unit reporting for class.
You have your laboratory assignment?
Yes, Dr. Dale. I'm in Laboratory J. Laboratory K for me. I stay right here, ma'am.
Very good. The labs are already set up with the equipment you'll need for your experiments. Here they are. Tom, Roger, Astro. Now, you're to make some of the gases that you meet on other planets in the solar system and study their properties. But I must warn you to be extremely careful because many of them are very poisonous, and even small quantities are dangerous. Now, is everything clearly understood?
Certainly, Doctor.
All right, carry out your instructions. I'll be in my office if you need me.
Oh, brother. Look what I pull. Methane and ammonia, the stuff you find on Titan. Well, if you hear me coughing, think nothing of it. Now, let's see. I've got diethylchlorine. Well, that should be easy to make. Be careful, Astro. You don't blow up toy balloons with that stuff. It's one of the deadliest. I can handle it. You'd better get over to your own lab, Tom, and get started. We haven't too much time on this deal. Right. Are you sure you'll be all right, Astro? Blast off, will you? I'm fine. Okay, Astro. See you later. Why don't those characters stop bothering me? I'm okay. Now, let's see. Diethylchlorine, huh? Blast it. Why don't they use bigger type in these instructions? I can hardly read them. Getting awfully warm in here. And the print, it's so blurred. The room is going around. I can't stop it. Help. Tom. Roger. Help me. Oh.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
You know, spaceman, there's a lot more to being a space cadet than just flying around space. The cadets have to work and learn on the ground, too. Now, take the Space Academy instrument shop. Space cadets learn to repair and operate all the instruments that are standard equipment on rocket ships and jet boats. You know, I saw Tom Corbett down there one day, and he was telling me all about it.
Hi there. I'm working on a radar scope. You know, a radar scope is the eyes and ears of a rocket ship. It's got to be in good working order, or else. Space cadets have to be in good working order, too, or else. That's why we stock up on good foods like Kellogg's Pep to get the food values we need for strong bones, strong muscles, and on-the-double energy. Kellogg's Pep helps me to start the day with plenty of stock, plenty of drive. And say, if you have plans for being a space cadet someday, the thing for you to do is to start eating Kellogg's Pep right now, starting tomorrow morning. Just ask your mom to get Kellogg's Pep.
Well, that was Tom Corbett talking about his favorite cereal again. You know, it's no surprise. Tom Corbett likes the cereal with lots of flavor, and Kellogg's Pep fills the bill perfectly. You try Tom Corbett's favorite wheat cereal tomorrow morning. Get the build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Returning to Space Academy after a long training cruise, Astro suddenly blacks out, and only Tom's quick action saves the Polaris from a disastrous crash landing. Worried about their friend, Tom and Roger try to get Astro to sickbay for a checkup, but he stubbornly refuses. Now, however, in a laboratory class, as he handles poisonous chemicals, the young cadet from Venus faints again, dropping several beakers. And as he lies unconscious on the floor, the room begins to fill with diethylchlorine, the deadly poison gas of the planet Uranus. Suddenly, however, the door is flung open and Tom Corbett rushes in.
Astro! Astro! Great Jupiter, he passed out again. Dr. Dale! Roger! Roger, come here! Wait! Hey, what's all the racket? Astro! Get rid of that beaker of gas. Quick, Roger. And open the windows. You bet.
Corbett. Why, what happened to Astro?
He fainted, ma'am.
Get the emergency kit. Hurry, Tom. Give me the syringe with the camphor adrenaline.
Yes, ma'am. Here you are.
Here, hold his arm out. This should bring him out of it. If he didn't breathe too much of that gas.
There. Will he be all right, Dr. Dale?
Wait, he's coming out of it.
Hey. What happened?
You fainted, Astro.
Oh. I feel as if I swallowed a jar of mustard.
No, just a few mouthfuls of diethylchlorine. Do you think you'll be all right now?
Oh, sure, ma'am.
Well, I'm sending you to sick bay with Roger.
Oh, no. Well, that isn't necessary, Dr. Dale. I feel fine now. I don't want to...
That is an order, Cadet Astro.
Yes?
Come on, Junior. After those gas pits of Venus, I can't understand how a nice gas like diethylchlorine can bother you.
Tom,
Yes, Dr. Dale?
you're pretty close to Astro, aren't you?
He's my best friend, Dr. Dale.
Well, tell me, has Astro seemed, different lately? Has he changed in any way?
Well, come to think of it, ma'am, he has. Usually he's pretty calm and easygoing. The only one who can ever get a rise out of him is Roger. But on this last training flight, he was jumpy and irritable, even with me. And then sometimes I found him staring into space. He seemed to be dreaming. I had to call him a couple of times to make him snap out of it.
I see.
Does that mean anything to you, ma'am?
Afraid it does.
Then you know what's the matter with him?
Well, frankly, Tom, I think Astro is suffering from a disease all spacemen fear the most. Space fever.
Space fever?
Yes, Tom. And if I'm right, Astro's days as an active cadet are numbered. If he doesn't pass the examination, he'll be grounded forever or medically discharged from the academy.
Dr. Dale, Captain Strong, is Astro all right?
Sorry, Tom, but the results aren't all in yet. Right now, it's touch and go.
The last test Astro took will tip the balance one way or the other. We'll just have to wait.
Okay, we'll wait here with you.
No, I'm afraid you can't, Tom. I've just received orders from Commander Arkwright to blast off on a routine training flight to Mars. We raise ship in 1 hour.
Is Astro coming with us?
We probably won't know until just before flight time, Roger. But this much is certain. If Astro isn't in our crew when we raise ship, he'll never go into space again. Are we ready to blast off, Corbett?
Aye, sir.
But did you get clearance from Spaceport Control, Manning?
Yes, sir. We're on 10-minute alert.
Very good. Notify Control we'll blast off on schedule.
Well, sir, what about...
Well, speak up, Corbett.
Isn't Astro coming along?
Astro? Well...
Cadet Harvey reporting, sir.
Oh, yes. Corbett, Manning, I want you to meet George Harvey, a new member of the Polaris unit. Cadet Harvey will take over the power deck.
The power deck? But that's Astro's station.
Sir, does that mean that Astro...
We'll talk about that later, Tom. I'll be back in a moment. You might make Cadet Harvey feel a little more at home.
So you're the new power pusher, huh? How do you rate getting into this unit?
I don't know. I just got orders to report to the Polaris. Very glad to be with you. Heard you're a pretty good crew.
We're the best crew, Junior. And while I'm about it, I might as well let you know where you stand around here.
Wait a minute, Roger. He stands equal with all of us. Don't mind him, Harvey. You see, we're disappointed that...
Skip it, Corbett. I heard about Astro. I'm only afraid I won't be able to fill his shoes.
You will, after we work on you a little while.
All right, boys. Get ready for blastoff. But first, I want you to meet a passenger we're going to carry on this flight.
A passenger? What are we running, a ferry service?
That will be enough from you, Manning.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Now, this passenger is important to all of us. I want you to show him every consideration.
Astro!
Why, you old space! Oh, this is terrific, Captain Strong. Why didn't you tell us Astro was rejoining the crew?
I'm not rejoining you, Tom. I'm just going along for the ride.
The ride? That's right, Manning. Astro is only a passenger. The examination wasn't conclusive, so he's being sent on this trip to test his reactions out in space. His future status in the Academy will depend on how he comes through. Well, that's the story. Prepare for blastoff.
What a lucky stiff you are, Astro. To be able to dope off while we chauffeur you around the universe.
Shut up, Roger. Shut up. What? Why, listen here, you... Yes, Roger. This is no time to kid around.
All right, boys. Take your stations.
Atmosphere, Captain Strong.
Right. Put the ship on automatic control. Oh, where's Astro?
Topside, sir, in his bunk.
You boys will have to handle him with silk gloves. Use every bit of tact and understanding you can.
But, Captain, if he isn't well, why did the doctor let him come along?
Tom, the pressure test showed him to be a borderline case of space fever. Now, that apparatus is the nearest thing we have to actual space flight, but it's still just an electronic device. So the final proof had to be an actual flight. In fact, I insisted on this trip against the advice of the doctors.
You kind of stuck your neck out, sir.
Yes, in a way. If anything should happen to Astro now, I'll be responsible.
approaching Mars orbit. Ready to land in 10 minutes.
Good. Prepare for landing operation, Tom. Oh, but have Astro come down here first.
Aye, sir. Hello, Astro. Check in.
Go ahead, Tom.
We land in 10 minutes. The skipper wants you down on the control deck.
What's the matter? Is he afraid I'll black out again?
Of course not, Astro. Come on down. He's certainly getting jumpy, Skipper.
Yes, I've noticed. You better alert Harvey to stand by.
Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Power deck, aye.
Approaching orbit of Mars. Prepare for standard approach.
Ready anytime you want, Tom.
Right. Cadet Harvey seems to be fitting in nicely, sir.
I'm glad of that.
Cadet Astro reporting is ordered, sir.
Well, Astro, how are you doing?
I'm all right.
Oh, good. Well, we're approaching Mars. You'd better stay with us until we land.
Why, so you can keep your eye on me? What's that? Captain Strong. Take a look out there, out in space.
What? Great Jupiter, we're in the middle of a meteor shower.
What a show. This is a ringside seat.
It's just a little too close for me. If one of those white-hot pieces of space junk ever hits us, we'll be part of the fireworks.
Any chance of that, sir?
Well, not much, I guess. There's very little possibility of a direct hit, but you never know.
Hey, did you see that?
Oh, that was a close one.
I could feel the heat right through the hull.
Who turned on the heat? I feel as if I'm being frozen alive up here.
Sir, I think I smell smoke.
What? Well, Tom, you're right. Quick, sound the emergency alarm. The ship is on fire.
Radar bridge control deck, check in.
Control deck, aye. Go ahead, Roger.
Who turned up the heat? I'm getting toasted up here.
What? Oh, Captain Strong, look. Smoke coming from the main duct. Great galaxy, the ship is on fire.
The smoke is coming from the power deck vents. Call Harvey, quick, Tom.
Control deck to power deck. Check in, Harvey.
Power deck, aye.
Harvey, what happened down there?
The heat from that meteor. It killed the captain on the main control board. Everything's short-circuited, and the auxiliary radiation tank is on fire.
Captain Strong, did you hear that?
Yes, we've got to kill that fire, and fast, or the whole ship will blow up.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Say, Spaceman, how many different magic eyes do you have in your collection right now? Do you have the magic eye showing Paramount star Bill Holden in a scene from the picture Submarine Command? Do you have the magic eye showing a jet streaking through the sky? Do you have the magic eye showing trains, planes, and all the others, like movie stars, sports stars, or your favorites? Well, say, Spaceman, let's get a move on. Those magic eyes are just waiting to be picked up at your grocery store. That's right. You get a magic eye with a picture that moves and shows you exciting action. Now, every package of Kellogg's Pep has a magic eye packed right inside. Here's a prize you don't have to wait for, you don't have to send for. All you have to do is to get Kellogg's Pep, and you'll get a magic eye free at no extra cost right inside the package. Don't delay, Spaceman. Get all 16 of these exciting magic eye pictures in your magic eye collection. Remember, there's a magic eye in every package of Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Believed to be a victim of space fever, Astro was taken on a routine training flight to Mars as a passenger in order to test his reactions out in space. But now, as the powerful rocket ship nears its destination, it is suddenly engulfed by a large meteor shower. And as one white-hot meteor passes dangerously close, its heat fuses the cables in the main control board and sets the ship aflame.
Attention all hands. Attention all hands. Breakout spacesuits. Emergency fire procedure. Radar bridge. Check in.
Radar bridge, aye.
Contact Marsport. Send out a distress alarm.
Aye, sir.
Tom.
Aye, aye, Captain Strong.
Close all portals and seal the decks. We'll try to keep the fire from spreading.
Right, sir. Captain Strong, I'll go down to the power deck and see if I can
You'll stay right where you are, Astro.
But, sir, I can help.
You'll help me by keeping out of the way. Hello. Control deck to power deck. Check in, Harvey.
Power deck, aye.
Are the automatic extinguishers working? Can they hold the fire to the auxiliary tank?
No, sir. I can't get a thing out of them. They're not working. The fire is spreading fast.
Then dump the reaction mask.
I can't, sir. All electric controls are out. The whole cabin is shorted.
All right, abandon the power deck. Get up here on the double.
Aye, sir.
Captain Strong, let me take over down there. Harvey's a good man, but he hasn't got the experience.
Sorry, Astro, we can't risk it.
But, sir,
You heard me, Astro. I can't take the chance of you blacking out down there. Now, for the last time, keep out of my way.
Yes, sir. Hey, Captain Strong.
Manning, did you contact Marsport?
I couldn't couldn't, sir. The radar bridge is dead. Nothing's working. That's why I came down here. Even the ship's intercom is out.
Captain Strong, I can't seal the portals. All power is gone.
So that does it. We'll have to abandon the ship.
Wait a minute, sir. There's still a way to put the fire out.
Are you crazy, Junior? The extinguishers won't work.
Space is a good extinguisher.
Space?
I think you've got something there, Tom. If we can open the power deck airlock, all the oxygen will rush out, and the fire won't be able to sustain itself. It'll be smothered.
That's the idea, sir.
Go on. Get your spacesuit on, Tom. We haven't a second to lose.
Watch your step, Tom. If that fire touches your spacesuit, you're done for.
I'll be careful, sir.
Can you see the airlock? So smoky in here, I can't. Over this way. Take your hand on my shoulder.
Oh, right. Look at those flames.
They're awfully close to the main tank. Keep moving, Tom. There's the lock.
Yeah. I see it, sir.
Now, we'll have to open it manually. Are you ready?
Oh, wait. Let me get a good grip on it.
Right. And watch yourself. Don't get caught in the draft when the air rushes out.
Okay, sir. I'm ready.
Then pull back.
Oh, there you go. I can't touch it.
Keep trying.
Sir, the fire. It's licking at the main reactor tank.
Never mind that, Tom. Get this airlock open. Pull.
Aye, sir. It's giving a little.
Now, once more. Give it all you've got.
Get it, sir. The fire is out.
All right, boys. Everything's under control now. Tom and I did a patch job on the main control panel. We'll be able to land at Marsport.
Nice going, Skipper. I thought sure we were going to be blown sky high.
That was close, all right. Harvey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Get back down to the power deck and cut in number 2 and 3 rockets. That's all we'll need.
Aye, sir.
And you get back to your station, man.
Right, sir.
What about me, sir? You still want me down here on the control deck?
Yes, Astro. Until we land.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and Astro, I'm sorry if I was a little abrupt with you before, but, well, you should understand.
Don't worry, Captain Strong. I understand perfectly. If you'll excuse me, I'll lie down on one of the acceleration cushions. I've got to take good care of myself, you know. He's sure taking it hard, Captain Strong.
Yeah, I know. There's nothing we can do about it, I'm afraid. This is one battle Astro has to fight with himself, and the odds are stacked against him.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets into danger on the return flight to Earth, and Astro takes the final test in his trial in space. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
One week from tonight, October 5th, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx, will be heard at this time over most of these same CBS stations. We offer you Escape, starring Ben Heflin. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are trapped in the dank darkness of a ruined plantation house. Somewhere in the pitch-black room is a homicidal maniac armed with a knife, groping for you, trying to prevent your escape.
Tonight, with Van Heflin as John Woolfolk, we escape to a deserted sandpit off the coast of Georgia, where terror stalks under the Spanish moss, as Joseph Hergesheimer tells it in Wild Oranges.
What could have appeared more innocent of danger than that barren, low-lying shore of southern Georgia? What could have seemed less laden with terror than that lovely little cove, so tranquil and well-sheltered, so warmly bathed in late afternoon sun as we dropped the anchor of our ketch and prepared our mooring? And yet there was something. First, it was an aroma. A grove of wild orange trees in late bloom grew defiantly amid the tangled undergrowth of the shore. The scent was strong and exotic and heady. And as I smelled it, I felt a vague uneasiness. Then, as I watched the shore and Halbert, my sailor, unfurl the sails, the mirror of the cove was shattered by a movement. At first, I thought it was a fish leaping and playing in the water. Came round a spit of land from an inner bay, and then Halbert was beside me.
That's queer, sir. I would have bet there was nobody within miles of here, but that's someone swimming.
Yes. That's a girl.
Hi, sir. She'll be surprised when she discovers us, no doubt.
And embarrassed. She swims well, doesn't she?
Yes, sir.
She had been born in the water.
Oh, she's seen us.
Yes. Now she's running away. That sprint would win an Olympic race, huh?
Yes, sir.
I wonder what she's doing here, where she comes from.
Perhaps there, sir.
Where?
Through the trees. There's a house there. You can hardly see it. I spotted it a moment ago.
Yes, so there is. I know, but it's a ruin. It's rotting away. No one could have lived in that since the Civil War.
There may be others back there, sir.
I know, but this is a deserted coast. It's marked as a swamp on the chart.
Well, I don't know, sir.
Huh. This is strange. It's very strange. Yes, it was strange. And stranger still was this vague uneasiness that I felt. As twilight fell, the aroma of the wild oranges was overwhelming. And suddenly, without knowing why, I slipped on my jacket and went to the side and dropped into the tender. Halbert stood by to cast off. He asked no questions, and I said nothing. What could I say? I didn't know myself why I was going. I pulled the tender up on the soft sand of the beach and walked up a dim path through the orange grove. Around the side of the house, where a smaller portico held off the weeds, a single doorway was framed in the pale light of the inner lamp. As I approached, I saw a shadow flit across it so swiftly, so furtively, that it was gone before I realized it had been a man. And then I saw her, sitting on the portico, rocking softly in her chair.
What do you want?
What? Oh, nothing. I came ashore. I thought no one was living here.
You're from the white boat that sailed in at sunset?
Yes, and I'm returning immediately.
It was like magic. Suddenly, without a sound, you were anchored in the bay.
I've robbed you, too. I picked a couple of your oranges.
You won't like them. They've run wild. We can't sell them.
Well, they have a distinct flavor. I should be very glad to have some of them on the boat.
All you want.
Well, my man will get them and pay you.
Please don't. Nicholas attends to that. Won't you sit down? My father was here when you came up, but he went in. Strangers disturb him.
I should be getting back. I'm sorry to have disturbed you and your father.
No, it's nothing.
Well, good night, then.
Good night.
That was all. A fragment of commonplace conversation, but it was enough. Now the uneasiness I felt, the strangeness of this place took shape for me. I saw it in her lovely, fragile face. I heard it in her voice. There'd been a hidden terror, a terrible, controlled fright that approached hysteria. But when I got back to the boat, Halbert made it even worse.
Find anything, sir?
There are people living there.
Well, there'll be water then. Maybe we can stay here for a couple of days.
What do you mean?
Well, this is good anchorage. I'd like to unship the propeller, and there's some scraping to do.
Yes, I suppose you're right. We need a couple of days of work before we head into the open sea.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we'll do it here. And so we stayed. In the light of morning, the strange dread I felt seemed foolish, and especially when I went ashore and found the girl looking young and fresh and fragile. She was fishing off a little pier in the inner bay. She had a a pathetic little rod and reel, and so I got our tackle from the boat and landed a big rockfish for her, enough for several dinners. We were carrying the fish to the house when we came on a pale, thin ghost of a man. He's sitting on the portico. He started a swift retreat, but it was too late.
Father, wait. This is my father, Litchfield Stowe.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Mary, you know I'm strangers.
Father, you know I wouldn't bring anyone to the house who would hurt us. And see, we're fetching you a splendid rockfish.
Yes. Just so we're alone here. The man is away. My daughter and I. Fish. Yeah, acceptable.
If you'll carry it in for me, Nicholas would do it, but he's away. And Father isn't strong. This way. We have no ice. I must put it in water. In here, right there. Thank you. You've been very nice. Now I suppose you'll go on across the world?
Well, not tonight. We're staying here making repairs.
Where do you come from? Where are you going?
Oh, from Cape Cod. I'm going to South America.
South America. I travel on maps. I was born here in this house. I've never been 50 miles away.
You seem like a girl who's been everywhere in the world. You've had the best education, everything.
My father has many books in there, that's all.
Your eyes are remarkable. Magnetic. Well, there's something else in your eyes and in your voice. What is it? Fear?
Fear? Why, no, of course not. What should I be afraid of?
Well, I don't know, but I saw it in your father's face, too.
It's only your imagination.
Yes, no doubt. Well, goodbye, then, and thank you for the fishing. Strange how this girl would have upset me so. I tried to resist, but that evening I found myself going back to her. Tying the tender to the little pier, I watched her as she came to meet me.
I'm glad you came. Let's stay here by the sea. It's so lovely in the moonlight.
All right. Oh, it is nice here, isn't it?
Nicholas is back.
Nicholas?
He's our man. I lied to you today about fear. I suppose I am afraid. I suppose my father's passed some of his fear on to me.
Why is he afraid?
Well, that's a long story, going back to the First War. He was a young man then, and he didn't go to war. It wasn't that he was a coward exactly. He just couldn't adjust to it mentally. People laughed at him and threatened him. And that's when sort of perpetual fear started. He ran away, met my mother married, and they came here. None of us has ever left this lonely place. Never will, perhaps.
And your mother?
She's dead. Loneliness killed her. Perhaps it's no wonder that I sound timid and afraid. Perhaps I am.
Aren't you lonely, too?
I don't know anything else. But what about you? Who are you that you go sailing about the world with only a sailor for company?
No, I'm nobody. My name is John Woolfolk.
And you do nothing but sail about the world?
Nothing?
Why?
Oh, well, let's say that I don't like modern society. Let's say that I don't like entanglements.
I see.
Oh, no, I didn't mean
that. Apologize. I envy you your freedom. I sit here a great deal and watch the ships far out there on their water roads. You are enviable, sailing where you like, safe and free. Safe. Free.
There's something more than you've told me. There's more behind this fear in your voice.
No.
Well, look, perhaps I can help you.
No, please.
Oh. What's that?
It's Nicholas blowing on the conch. I've got to go in.
Wait a minute. I'll come with
please,
you.
No, don't come. You'll be going soon?
Tomorrow, perhaps.
Then, goodbye. Goodbye.
Now I knew the terror that I had only sensed was real. This girl was possessed by fear. This house held some terrible secret. What could it be? Next morning, Halford went in to fill a cask of water, He came back without the casket, and he was livid with rage.
There's an idiot in that house, sir. Next time I'll take the pistol.
What do you mean? Where's the cask?
It's broken, sir.
How? How did you...
I was filling it at the cistern, and this idiot, a huge, hulking brute, came out of the house. He told me to get away. Well, I tried to explain we had permission, but he came at me with a knife, gibbering. He put his foot on the cask and crushed it.
Well, I'll see about this.
Be careful, sir. The man's not quite right. He's dangerous. Plenty dangerous.
I went ashore and around to the back door of the house. Millie wasn't in sight. When I knocked, a lumbering giant with pig-like eyes came to the door. Are you, Nicholas?
What do you want?
Well, I take it you're the man who broke my water cask.
It was full of our water.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you. I came ashore to instruct you to keep your hands off of my property and my sailor.
And let our water be.
I told you that I wouldn't discuss the water. I don't have to justify myself to you. Just remember, keep your hands off.
Don't get me started.
What do you mean, started? I don't care what you do.
Don't get me started. Mind now, I want you. Don't get me started.
Put down that knife.
Go away. Don't get me started now. Go away.
Stand back.
Don't get me started.
Nicholas, stop. What is this? What's the matter?
Well, nothing. Nicholas and I had a little misunderstanding, that's all.
You tell this man, Millie. Tell him to go. And don't get me started.
Nicholas, put down that knife! Now, Mr. Wolford, please. Please go!
I have never seen such terror in a woman's eyes. I felt completely helpless as I turned. I went on back to the boat. But mingled with her terror, I'd seen something else in Millie's eyes. There was a plea. And I knew there'd be another meeting between me and Nicholas. That night a storm broke, a raging wind and rain to match my tortured mood. I hardly slept. Millie's face was always before my eyes, and by morning I knew that I must do something. I rode the tender in through a drizzling rain. I went up through the orange grove and stopped in some bushes by the house. Someone was coming out of the house, and so I crouched down out of sight. It was Millie. I rose, and I called to her, Millie!
Oh, it's you. I was just coming out to look. I was afraid you'd gone out to seize like a pack of wolves.
I won't go alone. Now, you not without you, I won't.
What are you saying? That's madness.
No, I've got to talk to you. There's a lot that needs explaining. Things that I have a right to know.
No, not here. Come.
She led me into one of the smaller ruined buildings. We crouched far back in the dripping shadows of a corner.
No.
Millie, for the first time in 12 years, I'm living again. Darling, I'm in love with you.
I know nothing of love.
It's quickly learned. Millie, don't you feel anything for me at all?
I don't know. Perhaps if things were different, someplace else, I might care very much.
But I'm going to take you away someplace else. I'm going to make things different. I'm going to give you a chance.
Oh, no, it's too late.
Why?
You came too late.
Why? Millie, what is this? What is this fear?
Nicholas.
Oh, that's foolish. He's nothing to be afraid of. Has he been bothering you?
He says he's crazy about me. He says I must marry him.
Where is he now?
Oh, no, John, you mustn't. Something frightful would happen to him.
Not frightful, just unfortunate for Nicholas.
But you don't understand. He's not human. There's something about him.
What about him?
He came here in April. We were glad to get him. Servants were impossible to get back here in the wilderness. And he'd worked for the smallest wages. Only a few days ago I found out why he was glad to be here. I was painting his room and I found this.
Let me see it. Wanted for murder, Isaac Nicholas. A homicidal maniac.
He knows I found it. He knows, and he's been furious. And then you came and he ran and hid in the pines. But he told me if I spoke about him, it would happen to me. And if I left with you, it would happen to Father. Now he thinks I'm in love with you. He told me to send you away. He said you must leave today.
Millie, I should have realized this.
I'm not to stay away for longer than now. I must go, Jim.
Look, Millie, it'll take us a couple of hours to get our boat ready. I'm going to come for you tonight at 8. Now, you tell him that you saw me and I promised to go. Act quietly. Say that you were upset, that you'll give him his answer tomorrow. Then at 8, you bring your father and walk out to the wharf. Now, that's all, but do it. without hesitation or preparation.
Don't let him hurt us. Please don't.
Not now. He's finished. But do just as I say. It won't be long, hardly 3 hours. And then you're going to be free. Now that I knew, now that there was to be action, I felt better. Not that I minimized the risk. Halvard and I got the ketch ready for sailing. At 8 o'clock, Halvard and I tied up to the little pier. The storm had let up a little, but it was still raining. I got up on the dock and I waited for Millie. 10 minutes passed. And then 20. Something was wrong. I told Halvard to wait there with the tender. Then I walked slowly up to the house. It was dark. I went up to the side portico to the heavy door. There was a tiny crack of light showing under it. I pushed it open. The light came from a parlor to the right. I looked in. On the floor lay a body, her father. He was dead. He was crushed. His arm twisted grotesquely under him. There wasn't a sound in the house. Slowly I walked through the downstairs rooms. Nothing. Then, back in the hall, I heard a slight creak. Upstairs, someone had moved. Was it Millie, alive? Or was it Nicholas lying in wait? I groped slowly up the stairs. I didn't dare to use my flashlight. It would have made me a target for his knife. The upstairs hall was pitch black. Still, there was no sound. I inched my way along the wall, slowly. And then stumbled on the loose board. The pistol flew out of my hand, but the stumble saved my life. At the same instant, I felt Nicholas lunge, heard the knife sing past my ear and thud into the wall. I felt his great bulk smashing on my shoulder. My gun was somewhere on the dark floor. His knife was embedded in the wall. Now we were grappling hand to hand, rolling on the floor, kicking, tearing, gouging, crushing. My strength and wit against the massive bulk of a maniacal killer. How many minutes did that unusual and unequal struggle last? I don't know. It seemed an hour. Several times, as if by common consent, we rested for a minute at a time. Once we rolled apart and lay panting, the breast aching in my throat. And then I heard him groping along the wall, searching for the knife or gun. I threw myself at him again. He was too big. He was too furious. I felt my strength ebbing away. His fingers were closing over my throat. With one last effort, I tried to throw him off, to roll him over. I staggered to my feet. I was dazed. I looked up. We had fallen through the banister down the stairwell. Nicholas had landed on the bottom. He lay there on the stairs, sprawled, his head at a grotesque angle. He wasn't dead. He's only stunned. I leaned against the wall, looking at him stupidly. There was something that I must remember. What was it? Then she came down the steps, and I remembered. Millie.
I had to walk right past him. There was no other way. Right past his head, and my skirt was... I think we better go away.
Yes, we'll leave at once.
I must tell you about my father. You know, in Virginia, the women tied an apron on the door because he wouldn't go to war. And that played on his mind. And he was afraid of the slightest thing.
Yes, I know, but we must
Things
go.
upset him so he had no strength.
hear her talk like this, like a sick child, was almost more than I could bear. Then I heard something. Nicholas had got up. He stood up and stared at us for a moment, and then he started slowly up the stairs. He was going after that knife.
The least little thing upset him.
Millie, look, we've got to go.
Well, I was to meet a man. We were going away someplace where it would be peaceful. But Nicholas suspected, you see. He asked why Father had put on his heavy winter clothes. And then when I tried to go out, he pushed me.
Millie,
and do you know what Father did then? He came up and said, "Don't do that. Take your hands off my daughter." His lips shook a little. But he said it. That's the important thing.
Yes, of course. Your father was a brave man after all. But please, now come. You were supposed to meet a man. That man's waiting for you. There's no time to lose.
Father said, "Take your hands off my daughter." Nicholas killed him, of course. But it was a brave thing to do.
Yes, now come. I couldn't wait any longer. I could hear Nicholas coming back. I picked her up and carried her out into the night, down the path to the pier. Behind me, I could hear Nicholas crashing through the brush like a giant animal in pursuit.
Are you all right, sir?
Yes. I'm about done in, but I'm all right. Here, help me. Help me get her into the boat.
Yes, sir. There. Oh, there's someone coming, sir.
It's Nicholas. He's got a knife.
Good. I wanted to get back at him. You get in, sir. I'll take care of him.
All right, Albert. I wouldn't be much help anyway. Albert went to intercept Nicholas on the path. I heard them meet and struggle for a moment. And then a figure came walking slowly, stooped onto the pier. I got ready to shove the boat out into the water, and then...
It's all right, sir. It's me.
Albert, where's Nicholas?
I stopped it. He was all bumped out.
Are you hurt?
No, it's just a scratch, sir. I missed his hand at first in the dark. It's nothing.
Good. Well, let's get away from here, then. I held Millie in my arms as Albert rowed to the catch. Erratically, I suppose because of the storm. We were ready to cast off in 2 minutes. The last obstacle would be the narrow passage out of the cove. In this storm, it would be very dangerous. I started to take Millie into the cabin.
No! There's Nicholas in the doorway.
No nonsense. Nicholas is dead. You're on my boat. You're safe, Millie.
Safe? With John Wolford?
I am John Wolford.
But you didn't come.
Yes, I came, Millie. You're safe. Please, come.
I'd rather stay up here.
All right. You sit here beside Howard. I'm going up front to take soundings.
In this wind, you won't be able to hear me if I call.
No,
sir.
but you can hear me. Remember, we only have 3-foot clearance. Now, you'll have to hold it steady through that passage.
Yes, sir.
Halford, now, this is no time to be brave. How do you feel?
I feel all right, sir. I've taken knives before.
All right.
Just a scratch.
All right, fine. Now, we'll fix it just as soon as we get outside. All right, now, let's go. Put up your anchor and turn over the engine.
Yes, sir.
The boat headed into the tearing wind of the storm, straight toward the narrow inlet. A foot too far on either side and we'd hit. In this sea, that would mean death for all of us. I stood far up on the bow, taking soundings, feeling out the passage. Howling wind carried the call back to Halvard. Forward! Now the boat veered again. I realized that he must have lost an awful lot of blood. Halvard! Halvard! Steady her! Slowly, haltingly, it came around. 3.5! Steady now! But it was anything but steady. The boat wavered and swung as if an inexperienced hand was at the wheel. In a moment, we might hit. 3.25! We were in the passage. Hold steady, Halbert! Steady! 3.5. We're through. Goodbye, Halbert! Goodbye! Good boy, Halbert, I called. But when I went back, it wasn't Halbert at the wheel. It was Millie. Millie, her hands steady, her eyes washed clear of any madness. Millie with a little tight smile on her face, but no fear. And Halbert lay rolling with the swells in the bottom of the cockpit.
I'm afraid, John. He was wounded worse than you thought.
Oh, Howard, good heavens.
He told me to take the wheel. Said it was life or death, and Then he slid down. Like
When?
that.
When was this?
Back there in the passage. Just when you said 3.5. I'm afraid I wasn't very good, but I held on.
Oh, Millie, you were wonderful.
No, not yet. But I'll learn, John. I'll learn.
Escape was produced and directed by Gordon T. Hughes, with Van Heflin starring as John Woolfolk. Tonight we have presented Wild Oranges by Joseph Hergesheimer, adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Betty Lou Gerson, Bill Conrad, Edmund McDonald, Wilms Herbert. Special music was conceived and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week.
You are following a man whom you must kill to the bleak wastes of a tiny island at the bottom of the world. And you know that one of you can never escape.
Next week, we escape with John Russell's grim story of revenge, The Primitive. Good night, then, until next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Van Heflin is currently starring with Jennifer Jones, James Mason, and Louis Jourdan in Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Madame Bovary. Starting 1 week from next Saturday, October 8th, Escape will take a regular place in the CBS Saturday night schedule. That's 1 week from next Saturday, October 8th, Escape. Next week at this time, you will hear CBS's latest addition to its fine Wednesday night shows, You Bet Your Life, starring Groucho Marx. This outstanding comedy quiz, highlighted by Groucho's fast ad-libs, has won a Peabody Award and a high place in America's comedy favorites. Next Wednesday, it joins the parade on CBS, where it will be heard along with The Bing Crosby Show and Burns and Allen on most of these same CBS stations. Stay tuned now for The Bing Crosby Show, which follows immediately over most of these same stations. Paul Masterson speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy, dressed as prospectors, are tramping across the great Martian desert toward Polidor's hideout.
We're getting closer. That must be the hideout right over that dune.
We can't expect to sneak up and surprise him. The best we can hope for is that we can get close before he recognizes us.
Uh-oh.
I see him, Hap. He sees us. Just keep walking.
I can't tell whether it's Polidor or not, but he's got a gun.
Halt! What do you want?
Our car is back in the desert about 2 miles.
That's too bad. But you won't need it anymore.
Look out, Happy. He's got a blast gun.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Trial by Terror. Gang, here's a scene I like to see in every Space Patroller's kitchen when I tune in my viewscope at breakfast time. It looks something like this. A big bowl on the table, a spoon, and next to the bowl and spoon, a red and white checkerboard package of rice checks. Then into the bowl goes the rice checks. Then cream and sugar, and sometimes fresh fruit. And now it's time to dig in. And man, oh man, digging into that bowl of rice checks is just like digging into a bowl full of sunshine. Golden shredded rice biscuits, triple oven toasted, till they're crisp as a cookie and 3 times as tasty. Tops for taste, you bet. Tops for size, too. Made in that modern bite-sized design for slick and easy eating. And Rice Chex is tops for get up and go. After a good, nourishing breakfast with Rice Chex, you're full of the same super-powered get up and go that Commander Corey starts off his day with. So, Space Patrollers, the next time I tune in my viewscope at breakfast time, I want to see you eating Rice Chex. And if you're a whole wheat fan, try Wheat Chex. Remember, Chex are tops 3 ways for taste, size, and get up and go. In the red and white checkerboard packages with the big full-color picture of Commander Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside and the wonderful free Space Patrol trading card on the inside. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, Trial by Terror. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are maintaining an all-night vigil in Room 27 of the Space Patrol Security Lab. Room 27 houses an array of electronics equipment known officially as the Terra Internal Protective Alarm Coordinator, but usually referred to as the Crime Trap. The complex device is connected to hundreds of key points on the man-made planet Terra, banks, government offices, and laboratories. Its sensitive detection instruments are ready to report any attempt at forced entry, unusual movement, or outbreak of fire at any of these crucial locations. For hours now, the row of viewscope screens have remained dark. Unbroken rows of small green lights indicate the system is in operation in all circuits. Bored by the uneventful hours of waiting, Happy stands up and stretches.
Well, it looks like that tip on Polidor was false, sir. Unless he managed to break into the vault without setting off an alarm.
Not even he could do that. The vault at Triplanet Construction Company is equipped with nearly every known detection device.
Polidor must know that.
Yes, there's a good chance he also knows that there are 2 million credits in the vault. It's a tempting haul.
He's sure running an awful risk.
His men are. You can be sure that Polidor himself is playing it safe.
Sir, would it be all right if I skip down to the commissary for another glass of milk?
Wait till Lieutenant Callan gets back, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, I sure wouldn't want his job. Imagine having to watch these panels 6 hours a day and nothing ever happens. Uh-oh, I spoke too soon.
Check the panel, Hap.
Hey, it looks like that tip was on the level after all.
Hey, wait a minute. That alarm isn't from the Triplanet vault. Their light's still green. What's the number under the red light?
49, sir.
49. That's Universal Map and Chart Company.
Polidor's mob wouldn't be pulling that job.
Hey, Lieutenant Callan, we're at the local... Hap, something's wrong with the time trap.
Hey, there must be a short circuit. Smoke's just pouring out of the panel. Smoke and rockets, the central panel blew up.
Every circuit's dead.
Wow, with the alarm system out, every bank on Terra could be robbed.
Get Lieutenant Callan. I'll space phone our patrol cars to close in on Triplanet and the Map Company.
Less than a mile from Space Patrol headquarters, a small surface truck pulls up to the rear of the Zenith Microfilm Laboratory building. A man leaps from the truck, grabs a large case, and enters the building. Then, taking a heavy metal bar, he scrapes it across the floor. A section of the flooring swings upward, held against the metal bar by the pull of a magnet on the underside of the trap door. Placing the case down in the opening, the man closes the trap door and walks to a spaceophone transmitter.
Bram's laser at Station 5 Terra calling Polidor. Bram's laser calling Polidor.
Polidor here. Go ahead, Laser.
Arning and I got the credits.
Excellent. Any trouble?
Not in the Triplanet vault, but we were nearly stopped by a Space Patrol surface car during the getaway. There were patrol cars all around the Triplanet building.
There may have been some sort of leak. But we won't worry about that now. Did you got the 2 million credits?
When do Harning and I blast off?
Both of you remain on Terra until further orders. Lie low for a couple of days.
Now, but Polidor, the original agreement was that we were to deliver the credits to you right away and get paid off.
You'll be running a risk if you try to take that money off of Terra now. In a day or two, I will provide a distraction.
What do you mean, distraction?
Something will happen to one of the big cities on Mars. A disaster so terrible that Corey will forget all about those 2 million credits.
Now, what's going to happen?
I want it to be a surprise. You and Harnong stay on Terra and keep out of trouble. Polidor out.
Boss and Happy have just returned to the commander's central office at Space Patrol headquarters after examining the vault at the Triplanet Construction Company building.
Wow. 2 million credits gone, and not a single clue. Polidor did it again?
He got away with the theft, but we'll have some clues when he tries to put that money into circulation.
What do you mean, sir? Checking the serial numbers?
No, that'd be difficult. The money was in fairly small bills. But they're impregnated with radioactive carbon particles. Within a few hours, every bank in the solar system will be supplied with radiation detectors.
Then when anyone passes any of that money across the counter, he'll be nabbed.
No. A Space Patrol agent will be put on his trail. The person actually passing the money might be entirely innocent.
Take a lot of quiet investigation, but eventually we'll trace the money back to its original source, to one of Polidor's men.
That could take weeks.
Maybe months, unless Polidor's short of operating cash.
If we could only find out who tipped us off.
The lab experts had examined the damage of the crime trap in room 27. Somehow, one of Polidor's men bridged a small explosive device across one of the circuits in the main control.
Well, right here in headquarters.
The attempt to break into the map company had just one purpose, to set off an alarm in the coordinator system, and that triggered the explosive that blew out the master control.
And prevented the alarm in the triplanet vault from registering.
Right. Polidor had both jobs timed to the split second.
Well, the biggest mystery right now is who tampered with the control panel in room 27.
That part isn't a mystery, Hap. One of the maintenance men was in there yesterday. He didn't show up for duty today, and he can't be located.
If we could only find him. And give him a brainograph test.
That wouldn't help much. You know how Polidor works. His men know only their own phase of the job, nothing about anything higher up. Now get it. Corey here.
Commander, this is Special Agent Parker. Some of that triplanet money is already in circulation.
Interesting. Polidor's trying to unload it fast, huh?
Yeah, tell her at the Terra Bank was handed a 100-credit note. It was as radioactive as Madame Curie's floor mop.
Have you traced the bill?
The teller told me it was passed by a fellow that works for Zenith Microfilm Lab. His name's Harnum. Want me to follow up on it, Commander?
Find out all you can about the microfilm lab, but indirectly. Check on their employees, who owns it, and who their clients are.
Yes, sir.
Where is this outfit?
467 Orion.
Keep working undercover, Parker. I'll check on Harnum. Corey out.
Say, this Zenith outfit is really sharp. Look at their sign. An elephant never forgets. Neither does Zenith Microfilm. And it takes less space. Clever.
And below it, our clients are protected by Typac.
Hey, they're closed.
There's a light on inside.
Somebody's coming.
Keep that radiation detector out of sight. While I'm talking to this fellow, you wander around the plant.
A little private snooping, huh?
Make it obvious youthful curiosity. Walk close to their files, but be interested in their lab equipment.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I was about to say we're closed for business, but of course that doesn't apply to the Space Patrol.
I'm looking for Mr. Harnung.
Oh, I'm Harnung. What can I do for you?
I'd like to ask you a few routine questions inside, if you don't mind.
Of course. Come in, gentlemen. Sit down. I was just checking through some orders. Got a few rush shipments I want to get out tonight.
I'll go right ahead. We can talk as you work.
Thank you.
Hey, you've sure got a lot of swell equipment here.
You better not touch anything, Happy. You might upset some delicate adjustments.
Yes, sir.
No, he can't have heard anything. Now, what was it, Commander?
You visited the Terra Bank this morning, is that right?
Yeah. On some business for the firm.
You gave the teller a 100-credit note.
Don't tell me it wasn't any good.
No, it was good, all right. I'd just like to know where you got it.
I'm afraid I can't tell you, Commander.
You mean you get so many 100-credit bills you can't remember?
I wish that were true. No, what I mean is I wasn't in the office when the bill came in. Perhaps Mr. Ogilvy could help you. He's our bookkeeper. I could tell you where he lives.
Oh, fine. You can give me his address later.
Hey, is it all right if I go back here?
Huh? Oh, the processing lab? Yeah, of course. Make yourself at home.
Now, don't disturb anything, Happy.
All right, Commander.
Now, Mr. Harnung, when would this 100-credit bill have come in?
Well, I don't know. Possibly late yesterday. This morning, our petty cash was low, so I took the bill to the bank to get it changed. As I say, if you go and talk to Ogilvy...
I'll do that. I noticed you're protected by Terra Internal Alarm Coordinator Service. Do you often have material here that would tempt burglars?
Well, Commander, frankly, we don't need the service, but it looks good on our advertising. You and I know that no burglar's going to waste his time and run the risk of breaking into a place like this.
Excuse me, Commander.
Yes, Happy?
Something very interesting back in the lab.
Oh?
Well, things are really clicking.
Harnung, before you give me your bookkeeper's address, I'd like to see the rest of your plant.
Yeah, of course. Now, over here's our display room where we show the client samples of...
I'd like to see the lab first.
There's something radioactive under the floor of the lab, sir.
Okay, Hap. Come on, Harnung. I'm sure we'll need your explanation of some of the lab equipment.
That's just like any commercial microfilm lab, Commander. Nothing you gentlemen wouldn't understand.
You never can tell. There are tricks to every trade.
Here's the spot, Commander. Listen to the detector. Now watch what happens when I put it down on the floor.
What's under this flooring, Harnung?
I don't know.
If you look close, Commander, you can make out very fine cracks in the floor in the form of a square, like a closely fitted trap door.
Yes, I see. Open it up, Harnon.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
By the way that detector's clicking, I'd say there's about 2 million credits worth of radioactivity under this floor.
If I can find something sharp, maybe I can pry it open, sir. Oh, I know, that metal bar. Hey, that's funny. It was right over here under the window, on top of a packing case. It looked like a crowbar. Yeah, but where did it go?
Here it is, Cadet. Oh, I got Corey. Hold it. No, you don't, Harnon.
Nice going, Slazer.
You couldn't wait to dip into that 2 million credits.
How about Slazer? We were broke. How did I know?
Shut up. Take this bar and open the trapdoor. While you're loading the money in the surface car, I'll make sure that Corey and the Cadet are out of the way for good.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. This is Dick Tufeld in St. Louis reporting on the twin-jet Air Force fighter, the McDonnell Voodoo XF-88A. In a moment, we'll hear from the noted test pilot who flies this plane, Phil Houghton. Speed of the Voodoo is a military secret, but it's plenty fast. Wingspan is 40 feet, length 55, weight 10 tons. And now, Phil Houghton recorded at Lambert Airfield.
After seeing the Voodoo, I guess you know why I like my job. There's one thing about it, though. The test pilot has to stay in good condition, get lots of sleep, and eat good, healthy food. That's why I like rice checks and wheat checks for breakfast. They've got plenty of energy in them, and they really taste swell. I think you'll like them, too.
Make sure you stay in condition the way Phil Houghton, J. Ray Donahue, Jr., and other top test pilots do. Every morning, eat a good, nourishing breakfast with rice checks or wheat checks, the cereals that are tops 3 ways. Tops for taste, for size, and for real get-up-and-go. That's checks, rice or wheat. Remember, they're tops with America's top pilots. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, Trial by Terror. Using a radiation detector, Buzz and Happy have discovered the hiding place of 2 million stolen credits in a microfilm laboratory used as a front by 2 members of Polidor's gang. While the Space Patrollers were busy with Harnung, the other criminal Slazer emerged from hiding and knocked out the Commander and Happy before they could defend themselves. Right now, while Harnung removes the stolen money to a surface car, Slazer grips a metal bar as Buzz dazedly raises his head.
Don't try to get up, Corey. I can make it quick and painless for you and the Cadet if you don't try to put up a fight.
How much is Polidor giving you out of that 2 million credits?
And what makes you think we're working for Polidor?
I've got the money in the car. What's taking you?
Hey, quiet, you fool. Don't stand in the door bellowing. Now, what is it?
Have you finished them yet?
Have a quick push against this stack of cases. Yes, sir.
Get out of here.
When they fall, they may break that
Good,
window.
a thorough job. With this much
They're rocking, sir.
Your fault.
That does it.
Hey, what good do you think that's going to do you?
Window opens into the alley and it's deserted.
I realize that.
I'm just stalling. Get to work with that bar, Slazy.
Just a moment. I believe this plant's protected by Terra Internal Alarm Service.
What about it?
Oh, nothing. Except that in room 27 at Terra headquarters, a red light's flashing. In a few seconds, every patrol car in the district will be heading this way.
Slazer, he's right. Let's get out of here, quick.
Corey's bluffing. The master panel's out of commission.
We've got auxiliary units, you know. But of course, it's up to you. Polidor will be mighty grateful to you for getting rid of us at the cost of your own freedom.
Slazer, come on.
It would only take a second.
Every second counts. Throw that bar down and let's go.
All right. But there's one thing I'm going to do first. Smash this spacerphone.
That's enough. Come on.
Let's go. We'll lock him in.
Oh, that was close.
I'll give you a hand, Hap.
Oh, my head. Oh. Hey, I didn't know that master alarm panel was replaced so quickly. I'm surprised.
If it's working, I'm surprised. Slazer sure put that spacerphone out of order. I'll check the dials. Maybe I can find out what frequencies they've been using. Hap, get that bar and pry open the door.
Weakened and dazed by their treatment at the hands of Slazer and Harnung, it's several minutes before Buzz and Happy can wrench open the locked door of the microfilm lab. Hailing a patrol car, Buzz spacephones an alert to the Terra spaceport. Then he and Happy speed to headquarters to supervise the hunt for Slazer and Harnung. Right now, as Happy enters the commander's office after an errand to the security lab, Buzz adjusts a spacephone receiver.
The alarm coordinator panel is working now, Commander. Gee, if they'd only finished it a few minutes sooner, our alarm from the microfilm lab would have gone through.
We've had a couple of good breaks, though, Hap. 3 of Bolidor's chief agents have been picked up, 2 in Saturn City and 1 on Mercury.
Great. When we give him a brain grab test, maybe we can find out where Polidor is.
I know where he is.
What?
I've been monitoring the frequencies I found jotted down by Harnung and Slazer at the microfilm lab. I intercepted a call from Polidor, and communications got a fix on it.
Where is he?
On Mars. Approximately in the center of Sector K7 in the Great Martian Desert.
Well, then what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Polidor calling Station 7 Mercury. Polidor calling Station 7 Mercury. Station 7. I assume you are listening but cannot acknowledge. Disaster Plan C is now in effect. Repeat. Disaster Plan C is now in effect. Suspend operations until after Space Patrol sounds triple red. At approximately 1500 hours. Polidor out.
What's he talking about? Triple red is our... Commander, triple red is our code for a Mars emergency.
Exactly.
We'd better notify Mars Space Patrol where Polidor is.
They know, Hap. Getting Polidor might be simple, but it wouldn't necessarily stop this disaster plan C of his.
It sounds as though he's getting desperate.
Right. Gotta take him by surprise. He expects us to sound a triple red at about 1500 hours.
That would give us time to get to Mars, maybe with 2 hours to spare.
We'll need that time, Hap. Hundreds of lives, maybe thousands, depend on how we use those 2 hours.
In a skillfully camouflaged building in the great Martian desert, the master criminal Polidor counts through several huge stacks of credits, then glowers at the 2 men who sit silently in a corner.
You're 100 credits short of 2 million.
I explained that, Polidor. I needed money for expenses.
So you trotted right down to the Terra Bank with a radioactive 100-credit bill. I ought to cut your share in half.
But, Polidor, now we know those bills are radioactive. Otherwise, you might have circulated some yourself and got caught.
You have to admit it's right, Polidor.
What good is this money if we can't pass it?
That isn't our fault. And maybe we can neutralize the radiation.
Yeah, that's true. Right now I have something more urgent to think about. The destruction of Lowell City.
What?
Lowell City?
Disaster Plan C, remember?
Well, what do we gain by that?
With a city in ruins, who is going to bother about you or me? The Space Patrol will have its hands full.
How are you going to do it?
It will be simple. Right now on Deimos, the outer moon of Mars, is a robot spaceship full of high explosives. I can control it from here, cause it to blast off, and set it on a vector that will send it crashing into Lowell City.
Isn't there some other way to save our skins? Destroying a whole city.
If you think of a method as effective, I'll consider it. In the meantime, follow orders. No one must interfere with my plan to destroy Lower City. Naturally, no ships can approach without warning. But an attack by land is another matter.
What are you worried about? This place is like a fort.
Yes, and forts have been known to fall even to a few men on foot. You two are going on patrol right now.
After a swift flight to Mars, Buzz and Happy set their spaceship down in the great Martian desert, miles from Polidor's hideout. Dressed as prospectors, they cover more miles in a battered desert-going surface car. Now, their faces and hands grimy with grease and dirt to hide their identity, they trudge onward through the cold Martian twilight.
Perhaps slow down. Let your shoulders slump. You'd be spotted as a space patroller from a mile away.
We're getting closer. That must be the hideout right over that dune.
Yeah, we can't expect to sneak up and surprise Polidor. The best we can hope for is to get close to him before he recognizes us.
Uh-oh. Look.
I see him, Hap. He sees us. Just keep walking.
What light there is behind him. I can't tell whether it's Polidor or not. But he's got a gun.
Halt! What do you want?
Our car is back in the desert about 2 miles.
That's too bad. But you won't need it anymore.
Drop, Happy. He's got a blast gun.
I missed you on purpose. But if either of you makes a move, I'll let you have it.
It's Slazer.
Let him do all the talking.
Well. On your feet, men, and keep your hands up. That's it. I'll just take your weapons. Thanks, Commander. Now yours, Cadet. You know, Polidor will be glad to see you. And I can finish what I started back on Terra. I get moving. Go on in.
Who are these men?
Just a couple of prospectors. Prospecting for trouble.
Oh, Corey and the Cadet. You're just in time to watch the destruction of Lowell City.
Lowell City?
So that's what you meant by Disaster Plan C.
Oh, so you intercepted one of my spaceophone messages. Yes, Commander. A few minutes ago, I launched a robot spaceship from the outer moon. At 1500 hours, it will crash into the heart of Lowell City. It is now 14:55.
Polidor, what can you possibly gain by a thing like that?
I'm a hunted man, Commander. Even with you out of the way, your hounds of the law will be hot on my scent.
Well, do you think raiding a city will make them stop hunting you?
No. But it will give me a breathing spell while the Space Patrol is evacuating the injured, caring for the homeless.
Why, you inhuman...
Careful, Commander. Slater, cut on the viewscope. The large screen, if you will. Thank you. There. What you see there is the planet Mars as it looks from the nose port of a robot ship. Each second brings it closer to its target.
You've forgotten about space control. They'll detect it.
No, Cadet. In a moment, I will step into the next room where the control mechanism is. And at the proper time, I will change vector. Space control defenses will have no time to act.
Polidor, think of the helpless women and children in that city.
It is nearly time to change vector. Watch the screen, gentlemen. You will see Lower City move from the right edge to the exact center. It will grow larger and larger. And when the screen goes blank... Stop him! Stop Corey! Corey, come out of there! Open this door! Laser, you and Harnung keep an eye on the Cadet.
Sure we will.
Don't move, Cadet.
Harnung, cut on the intercom so Corey can hear me.
Okay. Look at the screen. Corey's changing the course of the robot ship.
Hooray, Commander, you did it. You saved Lowell City.
Save your cheers, Cadet. Commander, can you hear me?
Yes, Polidor, I hear you.
Open this door. If I have to break it down, I'll come in there with a blast gun.
Come ahead. Now I've got a blast gun, too. Now, what are you waiting for? You're 3-1 against me.
Harnung, Snazer, one of you go and get him.
You go in, Polidor. It's your idea.
You cowards. I'll fix him. Corey, you forget that we got the Cadet out here. If you want to see him alive, surrender. Come out with your hands up and empty.
Smart thinking, Polidor. That'll get him.
How about it, Corey? Are you coming out, or do we shoot the Cadet?
Don't let him bluff you, Commander. After he wrecks the city, he'll get us anyway.
Now, isn't the Cadet heroic?
Shut up, all of you. Well, Corey, I'm counting to 10.
While you're counting, look at the viewscope screen. What do you see?
You're heading the robot toward Mars.
That's right. Straight toward the center of Sector K7.
That's where we are.
Corey, are you crazy? You blow us all up.
We gotta get in there and stop him. Change that control.
Now, listen, all of you. If I hear a shot, I'm going to smash this robot control. Nothing you can do will prevent that ship full of explosives from crashing.
Polidor, look at the screen. It's getting close. Let's get out of here.
You plan to destroy a city. That means you can't run far enough or fast enough to avoid that explosion.
Corey, listen to reason. Stop that thing. Change its course.
Not until you give Happy your weapons.
Listen. It's getting close. Polidor, give up.
Don't be fools. We got 2 million credits here, and Corey's bluffing. He won't dare let the ship crash here.
Oh, no?
It's right above us. Polidor, give up!
Yes, Polidor, surrender. I'll shoot you.
No, don't. You heard what Corey said. If he hears a shot, he'll smash the controls. All right, Corey, we'll surrender. Cadet, take our guns, quick. Please, just drop them.
How's it going out there, Hap?
I've got him covered, Commander. Hurry.
Please, change vector.
You may get up off your knees now, gentlemen.
Well, I see everything's under control, huh?
Yes, sir. Except Polidor and his pals are nearly passed out from fright. It's a shame, in a way.
I know what you mean, Hap. I'd hope that...
Hey, Polidor's going for a gun!
Oh, no, he's not. Thanks, Polidor. I've been wanting to get that out of my system for a long time.
It's over. It's all over.
Good thinking. Polidor doesn't need a spaceship to fall on him. Or does he?
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Say, Space Patrollers, Commander Corey's been getting a lot of fan letters lately. Got a couple of them right here. And man, oh man, you should hear all the wonderful things Space Patrollers are saying about Chex. Listen, I'll quote you a few. Love those Chex. Best tasting cereals of all. And taste real George with fruit. Super swell with milk and sugar. Here's another good one. I like Chex because they're bite-sized. Take along a pocketful most every place I go. There you have it, gang, and that's just a few. But I know that you'll all like Chex. They're the tops in cereals, tops 3 ways. For taste, size, and get up and go.
Right, Captain Tufeld. Commander Corey here, Space Patrollers. Now, I want all of you to be Rice Chex, Wheat Chex fans like I am. So try 'em. Have yourself a good, nourishing breakfast with Chex. And I'm sure you'll agree, Chex are tops in cereals.
Gang, you heard what the commander said, and he's the #1 Chex fan. So go get 'em today. in the red and white checkerboard packages with the picture of the commander or Cadet Happy on the outside and the wonderful free Space Patrol trading card inside. Rice checks, wheat checks, tops 3 ways for taste, for size, for get up and go. Now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are trying to escape from a mysterious underworld kingdom on Mercury. Suddenly, a robed figure steps before them.
Commander, it's Varg.
There is no use resisting. You will never leave this underground city.
What's going to stop us?
The sun. The precious sunlight you surface dwellers prize so much. It is pouring down into the shafts beneath you.
What's he talking about, Commander?
The sun's heat here on Mercury is terrific. If it suddenly expands those pockets of frozen air, it'll blast these caverns wide open.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Menace Under Mercury, when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Baylor Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Rice Checks and Wheat Checks present exciting action on Space Patrol! This program is broadcast for our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.